But simple right now, like in 2017, like simple is cool. Like it doesn't have to have a lot to it now. And dressing totally. Men to me is much more fun than dressing women, because guys, I think because I like teaching guys how to do it, because a lot of guys don't know. Like a lot of guys don't know how to find a good pair of pants or like a good shirt that fits them, or like figure out their style. Like a lot of guys are still obsessed with like the Nike socks and athletic shorts. Dude, we have to change.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 19 of the Andrew Deitch podcast. I'm super duper fired up right now because I am just flabbergasted by the amount of support and excitement. The amount of support and excitement that is surrounding this podcast. You guys are amazing. You have no idea how much it means to me when I hear that someone, they're like, dude, I listened to your podcast. It was awesome. Like that's just so cool to me because, I don't know. It's just awesome. But anyways, big things coming. Just recorded episode 21 and 22 yesterday. 2 episodes in one day. What? Yep. So I'm cranking, and I cannot wait for you guys to hear all of those episodes. Just released episode 18 2 days ago with Luke Crawford, and it is already the most popular podcast to date, and rightfully so. That one was really, really awesome. If you haven't listened to episode 18, you should go listen to it after you listen to this one, because this one is going to be even better. My guest today is my friend Cameron Hesseltine. Cameron is a celebrity wardrobe stylist and a fashion expert, and she styled a ton of celebrities, including Jon Hamm from Mad Men, Kate Beckinsale from Click, Underworld, Total Recall. She styled Chrissy Teigen. I don't really know how she got famous, but she's like a model. She's married to John Legend. She's a TV show host. And Sarah Hyland from Modern Family. So obviously she knows what she's talking about. And let's be real here. My audience is probably mostly male. It's probably about 65% male. So I'm sure that a lot of you dudes out there are already rolling your eyes or possibly thinking about skipping this episode. But wait, do not leave just yet. I know that fashion might not be your favorite thing to talk about, but guys, let's talk about this for a second. We need to step our game up, okay? It is not that hard to dress well. It doesn't take a lot of time or money, and Cameron and I really get into some great practical stuff, and we had a lot of fun recording this. So just check it out. It was awesome. In this episode, Cameron and I talked about her story of her upbringing and why she dropped out of college, her crazy stories of styling celebrities in LA, and why it is not as glamorous as it seems. And we also talked men's fashion, the taboos surrounding it, some do's and don'ts for the guys out there, and why guys are so apprehensive about talking about fashion. And I've been really getting into men's fashion more and more over the past year. Spending time in Europe, like I just realized that, like being in Amsterdam, everyone there, everyone there is like super well dressed. And I was just realizing that I was just dressing like an idiot. So I've just been really getting more and more into men's fashion and trying to dress better. And hopefully that you guys out there can learn something from this podcast and, stop dressing like a slob. But Cameron is also going to be starting her own podcast soon, so stay tuned Stay tuned for that. I am very, very excited to be a guest on her podcast, and I will definitely let you know when those are released. But now that you're all geared up, ready to go in, ready to buckle up, because we're going to talk about some funny stuff on this podcast. Seriously though, this is a really, really, really fun podcast. I'm super excited for you guys to hear it. But I'm gonna shut up. Here's my friend Cameron Hesseltine. All right, we're live.
Hey.
What's up, Cameron?
Nothing, man. What's up with you?
Not a whole lot. So this is my friend Cameron. She's pretty cool.
Hey, I like to think so.
She wants to start a podcast soon.
Yeah.
Which is pretty awesome. And
it's scary, but I'm excited.
Yeah. So it was cool because the other day I kind of showed Cameron like all the podcasting stuff, trying to like show her what to do for the podcast and all that. But I thought it would actually be kind of cool later to kind of talk about like podcasting stuff just so people can like know.
Yeah.
But because I think a lot of people listening to this are interested in podcasts and like curious about how to make them and all that kind of stuff. But I like to start off all my podcasts kind of giving like context and all that kind of stuff. So just tell everybody kind of your abbreviated life story a little bit. Because
I'll try my best to abbreviate it.
You know, we tend to think of everybody as like, oh, this is Cameron and she's this. But there was a lot of steps that made you into who you are now.
Exactly. And I think I've changed a lot in the past recent years. I mean, starting from middle school, you don't know who you are, and high school it kind of takes you a while to figure that out. And even after high school, if you go to college, because I didn't go to college. I went to University of Alabama for a month, and I hated it. I had just like a horrible experience. I got blackballed from sororities, and I wasn't able to get into any of them, and it sucked, and it really like put your life into perspective a little bit.
That sucks. Why did you get blackballed?
I wasn't the best girl in high school. Girls didn't love me. I brought it on myself, but it was just a hard time for me, and I don't want to say I got bullied because I think people probably got it worse, but girls are mean, man. Girls are really mean in high school.
For sure.
And it took me a while to figure out who I am now, and I think that's why I want to do a podcast, because I know what I want and I know what I want to talk about, and I feel like I've been trying for a long time to impress other people. So that's why I kind of want to be like, get to know like who I am, not who you thought I was.
That's really cool, actually. Yeah. I kind of feel a similar way in the fact that like I've changed a lot over the past years, and I think a lot of it has sometimes come off as a little pretentious in a way, like, oh, I'm doing this thing, or like, oh, I dropped out of college and school is worthless, and like saying all kinds of ridiculous.
I say that all the time.
Yeah, and like, I think a lot of people are also, like I said, I don't want to sound pretentious, but I think also a lot of people are very curious as to like what I'm doing nowadays, because, I'm kind of taking a different path of a lot of different things, and I feel like there's a lot of people on Facebook, especially that are listening to this podcast, that are coming out of the woodwork kind of like, I'm going to stalk Andrew a little bit and listen to his podcast, which is funny.
Yeah, well, it's fun to listen to people talk about things.
Totally.
I mean, maybe not necessarily that you were the best of friends with, but like anybody that I know that has a YouTube channel or like is trying to start one or podcasting or anything, I want to get in on it.
Yeah,
it's
for
cool.
Sure. It is really cool. But to kind of like go back for a second, so were you born in Georgia?
Yeah, born and raised in
Okay,
Atlanta.
Cool. Do you have siblings?
I have a younger brother named Colby.
How much difference?
He's 2 years younger than me, so he's 21.
So were you guys like pretty close growing up, or not really?
Yeah, we got along really well growing up. He and I are complete polar opposites, and he would agree 100%. He did very well in school, loved school, loved studying. I was the party girl for sure. My parents loved that. They loved that. But he went to South Carolina Honors College, like did really well in college, wants to be a writer and is really good at it. And he's funny. He's really funny. But I think we just separated a lot when we were growing up because we just had totally different lives.
Gotcha.
And a lot of different siblings like would party together in high school, or like either were like me and my brother and just like didn't. So him and I get along more now.
That's
that
cool.
We're older. Yeah.
Yeah, my brother's 3.5 years younger, so it was always like.
Wow, that is young.
It's younger, but he was always kind of like big and like we were always really close, so it seemed like we were closer in age than we really were.
Right.
But like when I went to high school, he was still in middle school, and then by the time we were 4 school years apart, so when the year that I graduated was the year that he was moving into high school. So it was like we never got to like be in high school together.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So I never really like had that even opportunity really, you know, like, but now me and my brother are super, super close. I mean,
y'all
like,
travel a lot together, right?
Yeah, we're going to be traveling to Europe in like 30 days, which is, or like 40 days. Yeah.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah, I'm very excited. It's really, really awesome.
I want to go so bad. I'm going to LA.
LA is awesome.
I'm so excited.
I've only been to LA once and I really loved it.
It's my dream city.
It's really, really awesome. But so anyways, you have one sibling and are your parents like still together or like?
Yeah, they're still together. This is funny because I've just started. As an adult, I'm starting to view my parents a little bit differently than I did when I was a kid. Because when you're a kid, they do everything right, and they're right about everything, and nothing they do is wrong, and you just want to be like your parents. But a lot of the times growing up, you look at your parents and they're not the person you like dreamed them to be, which sounds a little bit sad, but it's kind of a realization that like people are really not who you think they are. And like you kind of have to be able to form your own opinion because you just otherwise, and that's just like sort of sums up my entire life story. Is
very
like
important.
Not pleasing other people, like pleasing yourself before you please other people, and that's been an issue with my parents since I've become like an adult.
I feel you. So, yeah, that's definitely.
But they're together.
Gotcha.
They're together. That answered that question.
I feel you. Yeah, that is an interesting thing. Like my parents, when I was younger, they always came to a consensus on everything. So you just think they're right.
Right.
You're like, oh, mom and dad are like, you know, because there are some times where like mom will say one thing, dad will say another. So you're kind of like, I don't know what to believe. Right. But then there's most of the time they would try to come to a consensus on something. So you're just like, oh, mom and dad say this, so like must be true. Or
even like, I remember when my mom wouldn't want me to do something, she'd be like, go ask your dad.
Yep.
I'd be like, do you know he's going to say no? Or
yeah.
A lot of the times I could convince my dad more than I could my mom. I was a daddy's girl. So my dad and I have always gotten along better.
That's funny. Yeah, there's definitely like a different dynamic of like mother-daughter than mother-son relationship.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, and that's a whole nother topic, but
it is a whole nother topic.
There's definitely a lot of interesting things, and like, so I only had a brother, so I only knew that, but
True.
Sometimes I kind of wish I had a sister, because a lot of times I'm just, like, since my mom is not the typical female, I guess, she's like really unique in the fact that she's just like really weird, and she's really low maintenance, so then like, I'll meet these other girls and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like
oh no, none of us have been very good to you then, have we? Oh, we're all crazy.
No. Of course I've met some awesome girls. But the thing that, you know, like, because it's weird, because like the only, you know, knowing my mom growing up, I was like homeschooled until I was in 4th grade.
Were you really?
Yeah, so like I spent lots of time with my mom.
Aww.
And so then like, yeah, like I said, there's just, you know, sometimes I'm just like, what the hell? Like I just haven't been around girls enough, like, in daily life that...
Right, to know.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so funny.
So sometimes I kind of wish that I had a sister, and the fact that, like, it would have been, you know...
Nice to have another perspective of women, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
You wouldn't be so surprised.
Not to say my mom... Not to say that my mom isn't, you know, an awesome woman or anything.
Right,
she's great.
Right.
But it's just, like I said, she's very, I guess, atypical. But that's kind of cool, actually, because I really like my mom for that. But, But anyways... to kind of move on a little bit, but so you said you kind of through middle school you were kind of like, you know, confused, and then high school people didn't like you. Why didn't people like you? Or what do you think?
I guess I could just be totally honest. I slept around a lot in high school, and I don't even know why. Like, and I thought about this too, because I knew that I had a feeling I was gonna have to talk about it, and I think I just don't talk about it. And I don't mind, but anyways, I just felt like I could never keep a friend, and I was feeling like anyone that I became really close with was gonna tell me in like a year that they didn't want to be my friend anymore, and I had taken enough of that. It had happened like twice in 2 years, and it was just like a lot for a 15-year-old girl.
Just like one of your friends that you were really close with just was like, nah, I don't want to be friends anymore.
Yeah, and that happened to me my entire life. I've had girls tell me that they don't want to be my friend anymore.
That's so weird.
Yeah, and I got used to people just giving up on me. And so I think that deep down, now that I'm older, like back then I was like, whatever, it's cool. Like, I didn't like care with people. Like, I didn't have a reason why. Killer than you. I didn't think that I was ever going to feel like a certain way about it, I guess, when I got older. But also, you think that you know everything when you're 16.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just like, that's how I lived my high school life, and I didn't give a shit. I didn't care what people thought until after, because that's how people viewed me, always.
Gotcha.
And
then even going, like you said, when you went to Alabama, there was just lots of girls that already knew you there.
Well, yeah, and that was the issue. I won't name drop, but a certain girl that was a year older than me went to the University of Alabama and told every single one of my guy friends that she had blocked me from the sororities there. Like, she can't get in. Like, oh, does that make you feel good about yourself? Then, like, fine. But it ended up working out because I'm really happy where I am right now, and I try to remind myself that, like, if it had happened differently, like, you don't know where you'd be today.
Exactly. That's 100% true. Yeah, so that's really interesting. So you went there for like a month, and you wanted to be in a sorority?
I did. So everyone wanted to be in a sorority.
That's just Alabama.
Yeah. Everyone that wanted to go to Alabama went, mostly because of Greek life, because they have such huge Greek, and fucking football.
Exactly. Do you know Austin Distel? He was on the episode 15 of the podcast. Anyways, his is actually really short. You should listen to it. But he went to Alabama for like 1 semester, 1 year, and then left too. Yeah.
It just wasn't, it was... And, like, I guess this was a part of, the very small part of me that matured in college. It was crazy to me that a group of girls could walk up to a fraternity and be turned away because one of them was a little bit overweight. Like, they literally could say, you can't come in. Like, what is that?
It's the ultimate...
What is that shit?
Douchebaggery. Like, it's literally... It's very... It's
frustrating.
Douchey.
Yeah.
And
who do you think you are?
Yeah, it's weird. I had an experience kind of like that where, so I was a freshman at GCSU, and their Greek life is a little bit different because when you're a freshman, you can't pledge a fraternity until the spring semester. So for the whole first semester, you can't join a fraternity, which is good because a lot of guys that join fraternities, their grades just completely go to shit because they're all focused on 100% pledgeship and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So for the first whole semester, like, you're allowed to talk to fraternities and hang out with them and go to their parties and whatever, but like...
You know what? I think that's how it was at Bama too.
Oh, really?
And I think that's how it was at Auburn, because Zach went to Auburn. And I think that's how it
for the
happened
whole first semester, you can't pledge or something?
Yeah, but he had a friend in the fraternity,
Gotcha.
so I don't know.
Anyways. But anyways, so for the whole first semester that I went to GCSU, I was not in a fraternity or anything, and then I went to visit some friends at UGA, and one guy there, I don't remember what fraternity it was, but it was like a Jewish fraternity, and my friend was like, oh yeah, my friend is in this fraternity. Well, really, he wasn't in it, he was a pledge. So like, you're not really in it, and you're basically the bitch of the whole fraternity. Yeah. Like, you have to do what everyone says, and you don't have any privileges. Anyways, so this guy was like, yeah, we're throwing a party, you guys should come. So me and these 5 people, I didn't really know them that well. I just knew the one guy that was my friend. We all try to go to this party, and at the door they're just like, who the fuck are you guys? And we're like, oh, we know this guy. And they're like, him? He's a pledge. Like, he's not even, like, what?
Oh my God.
And they were like, you have to come back with at least a 3-to-1 ratio. That's what they literally told us. That we had to come back.
My God.
That we had to come back with 3 girls for every guy.
That makes me sick.
So the funniest
3 girls?
And the funniest part, well, they were just saying, I think there was 3 or 4 of us. And they were just mainly, I think, saying that because they're like, why should we let you guys into our party? No one here except for this one random pledge kid knows you guys.
Right.
And we've already got enough dudes here as it is because it's a fraternity.
True. Oh my gosh, I bet y'all were like early.
We were fairly early too.
That's what it was.
We weren't like super duper early, but there was literally a guy guarding like the front.
They guard them all night. Like
Yeah.
I remember like Halloween that year, like they're like we were like, oh, we could probably like come sneak back when everyone's too drunk at like 1:30, but they still have some drunk ass standing at the fence telling fat girls they can't come in. It's
so
horrible.
It's messed up.
Horrible. Or basketball players, because I was friends with some of the basketball players at Alabama, and they wouldn't even let them in sometimes.
Why?
Because they were black.
That's so messed up.
Yeah. The South is a fucked up place.
Yeah, welcome to Alabama. But anyways, but to put the cherry on top of my funny story, so they turn us away, and I'm wearing this like ridiculous American flag like polo shirt, so the guy definitely remembered who I was, right?
Right.
So it wasn't like we could just come back later and try to sneak in, like he was gonna remember me.
Of course.
But so we go out in the parking lot, we're all sad, and we're like, what are we gonna do now? And then my friend sees this group of girls, and he knows one girl in the group, and there was like 12 of them. So we were like, hey, are you guys going to this party? And they're like, maybe. And they're like, come over here, because we have to have a 3-to-1 ratio. So just act like you're with us, because he did know the one girl. And they're like, she's like, oh, okay, whatever. So we come back, and we're like, we have like our arms around the girls, like just to like solidify it even more. And this guy gave us the biggest death stare I've ever been given. Like this dude was just like,
that's the best.
He was so mad.
That's the best.
But I was like, what's up? We got some girls. Like, it was so
Wasn't that hard?
funny.
Click.
Yeah.
Arrow.
It was so funny. But anyways, I digress.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
They're the worst. Anyways.
The party wasn't that fun.
So college sucked. Yeah. There was no girls there.
No. It was okay. But anyways. So you basically decided after like 1 month, you're like, nah.
I'm like, I don't like this environment. I don't care for it. I don't love the sorority. I got like the only option basically I had. I didn't like it, and so it even dropped out before initiation, and I became a GDI, you know, and they hated us. Like all the fraternities hated us, like anybody that wasn't in a sorority. And then of course they'd ask you what sorority you were in. If you were in a good one, then you couldn't come in either.
Yep.
So we just became really good friends with one of the houses there, the girls that I was friends with, and we just hung out with them all the time, and they didn't care because they were like a cool fraternity. So
that's
ended
cool.
up like I had fun, obviously, like it was college, I had fun, but I wouldn't go back.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it again.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, after my first year of college, I dropped out too. But it's actually very interesting because a lot of my guests on my podcast are people that didn't complete college or didn't finish, or there's very few people on the podcast that actually have finished college, which is kind of funny. But I think that, you know, to kind of wrap that subject up, like college a lot of times is a place where they're kind of nowadays, I feel like, stifling a lot of like, I don't know, stifling a lot of ideas where they're, you know, especially in a lot of like liberal colleges, like if you believe anything other than this crazy PC stuff, then you're going to be shunned or whatever. If you if you don't do exactly as everyone else does, you're going to be blackballed or whatever.
Yeah.
If you don't dress the way that everyone else dresses, it's kind of like just an extension of high school in a lot of ways.
It is, yeah.
Not to say that there isn't places in college where people are really cool, and I'm sure that there's awesome places out there, but just from my personal experience, I think also Southern schools are kind of like cliquey, and you kind of have that weird old money kind of vibe a lot of times and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And
especially in Johns Creek.
Yep, exactly. But anyways, we don't have to talk about college anymore because
that's great. I mean, it was short-lived. It was as long as the experience.
Were your parents pissed?
You know what? They weren't. And they've always been pretty supportive of anything that I wanted to do, but I think they knew that college was not what I wanted to do, and that I've always wanted to be hands-on and like working and making money and like doing my own thing. And they were like down for that.
That's awesome.
So
at the end of the day, you got to make money somehow.
Exactly. Everybody likes money.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It is kind of funny to me also when I see like people that graduate and they literally have never worked a single job in their entire life. Like not even like a summer job, not even anything.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, now I'm ready to go to the workplace. It's like, honey,
you are not ready.
You are not prepared for what's about to happen. You might have memorized a lot of shit from books, but you are not prepared for what is about to slap you in the face.
No, because working is, I'm in college, yeah, it's hard, whatever, but like working and dealing with everyday people all the time. I've worked in retail pretty much my entire life, and then food, and those are like the worst customers to ever encounter.
Yeah, pretty much.
Both of those industries are just like, ugh, people are the worst.
Yeah.
And you don't know how to deal with people, and that's a huge thing.
Definitely. That's very, very true. Customer service is pretty huge.
Yeah.
One other thing that's interesting to me is, like, I always find it kind of funny when, like, for example, right now, I started this podcast, and I'm doing, like, all the branding for it. I'm making all the promo for it. I'm promoting it. I'm doing social media marketing for it and all this stuff. I never went to class for that or anything like that.
Right.
It's like, I just kind of, like, taught myself and learned that through, like, trial and error and experience through my previous whatever business ventures, whatever you want to call them.
Right.
But it's just funny to me when people are like, yeah, I have a degree in social media marketing, and they have like 200 followers on Instagram. And I'm kind of like,
huh?
I'm like, you don't even really know how to market yourself.
Yeah.
How I don't know, it just seems kind of silly to me. And I understand that some people aren't into that side of it where they don't really want to promote themselves, but at the end of the day, you kind of have to market. In today's day and age, you have to market yourself anyways. You know what I mean? Anyway.
Or if not, then work behind the scenes of somebody else's. Like,
exactly.
You spent all this time learning from a textbook, and you could have really been learning from real life, but whatever.
Yeah, or like, okay, let's create this, like, okay, class, we're going to do a project. We're going to create an ad campaign. And it's like for some fake company and fake thing that's never going to promote anything real. And it's like, go out on a limb and like try something for yourself and like...
Yeah, something that you want to
do. Why spend so many hours like making promo material for a product that's never going to come out or ever exist?
That isn't real.
Yeah, and I understand.
That's true.
And I understand that, like, all that. But like for me, I just feel like going out and doing it is the best experience, and like learning from people that have already done what you want and are doing what you have. Like
I totally agree.
That's one thing that always was weirding me out about like learning from professors that weren't really in that career field anymore, or like weren't even ever really successful in that.
Right.
There's definitely lots of professors.
Because they became a college professor.
Exactly, like no hate towards college professors,
right.
But like I'm sure that there's lots of great college professors out there, but at the end of the day, it's like, okay, cool, you have an entrepreneurship degree from a professor that might not even be an entrepreneur.
Right.
Like, he's a professor. And I have heard stories of, like, people that have taken on entrepreneurship classes, and the professor, like, kind of just does it as a hobby because he likes teaching that stuff, which is cool. But at the same time, like, I would much rather it's like, go find someone that's doing what you want to do and literally like be their assistant and work for them for free for a couple of years.
Exactly. People don't understand that. Like, to get where you want to go, you have to hustle. That's so corny, but it's
no, it's so true. And like the thing is like, oh, well, why would I work for someone and not get paid? But it's like, okay, bitch, listen.
Experience.
Here's the deal. Yes, you're not getting paid. It's better than having negative money. Because when you go to school, you're spending tons of money.
Yeah.
And yes, you're learning experience, but you're not actually in the workplace. It's like, I would much rather like work for free for a couple years, earn my chops, and then at least I'm starting at zero. I'm not starting at negative.
Exactly. Exactly.
I don't know. People are probably going to be yelling at me through their earphones. Shut, you don't even know anything.
Life is expensive.
Life is like, I can't afford to work for free. Well, you're paying for college, so how are you making money? Whatever.
Well, they might.
Here's
not be
the other
for
thing
college.
that's funny too is I think a lot of people don't do that because their parents wouldn't support them doing that. Because their parents are going to pay for college and pay for their food and pay for their car and pay for all their bills because they're a student. But if you're just going to go work for free for someone, and not get anything from it at the end, you're not going to get a degree at the end. You're on your own, honey, or whatever,
Right. And I think a big part of my upbringing was that you always had to have a job. Like, I've had a job since I was 15.
Same here.
And
probably younger because it might work for my dad.
Oh, true. I mean, I did chores.
Yeah.
I never got an allowance growing up, ever.
Yeah. I got like $1, I think. Like my parents were like, okay. It was like to teach me a lesson. It was like
Here's
like,
$1.
every Sunday we're going to give you $1 and you're going to give 10 cents to the church and you're going to save 10 cents. Like, you know.
To the church.
To the church. My parents don't even have a Southern accent. I just wanted to give them that.
I wouldn't have questioned it. I really enjoyed that little skit that you just did. That's so funny.
You're going to save 10 cents and you're going to...
Save 10 cents?
Yeah. And then by the end of a year, you'll have so much money you can buy a smoothie. You know.
Buy a smoothie?
Yeah, but actually my mom did really an interesting thing. My mom, when I was growing up, she really was against like video games and like, you know, playing on the computer and stuff, because she just thought it was kind of mindless, which, you know, I agree with in some points. But, you know, there's mental stimulation when you're playing video games. But anyways, that's a whole nother topic. But she would give us these coupons. Like if you did a chore, you would get a coupon that said good for 30 minutes of screen time. And then like you could like, every day you could, like if you did your chores or whatever, you'd get one of those coupons. Then you could turn it in at the end of the day. Well, like me and my brother, at least me, I would like hoard them. So I would have like a ton of them.
Of course.
So then on Saturday I would turn in like 20 of them. And then she started having like a limit. Like, okay, you can only turn in 2 per day. Or whatever it was.
You only turn in 2 per day.
And then it was also, and then after that it was like, you can turn in 1 coupon and play for 30 minutes. But then, or you could like turn in 2 and play for an hour, but you couldn't play you'd have to like go and play outside after you played for an hour or whatever. Which is kind of
my
funny.
mom was I mean, Colby and I played computer games, but they always had to do with something that we were interested in. Like it wasn't like I did Barbie gymnastics, I did like Barbie fashion designer. Like I did all that stuff because my mom was like, she's into that stuff. Like I want to do it. But we used to have a neighbor when we were younger named Benjamin Peters. And I would die if he would listen to this.
Benjamin.
I don't even know. Hi, Benjamin. I don't even know if he lives in Georgia anymore.
Someone's going to find him and send him this podcast.
I hope so. Benjamin Peters that used to live in Chasewood in Windward.
Hey.
Let's talk. Let's chat. Anyways, he lived across the street and he never wanted to play outside. Like he always played video games. So anytime my brother or I wanted to like play video games, she'd be like, you guys, don't be a Benjamin Peters. You have to go outside. And we still joke about it to this day.
That's so funny. Don't be a Benjamin Peters. Because he
never wanted to come outside.
That's so funny. Yeah, my parents, like my mom, she never let us get like a video game console or anything because her philosophy was like, all your friends have them, so you can play them when you go over to your friend's house. Which isn't a bad play. Not a bad play. Like,
not false.
Yeah. But anyways.
Kind of BS though.
Yeah, a little bit. My neighbor, like, he had an old like Game Boy Color. And he like gave it to me, and I had to like hide it from my mom because he had.
You didn't know?
The Game Boy Color was super old at this point. Like he'd already moved on to the Game Boy Advance and the Game Boy Advance SP and all that stuff.
God.
So he and his brother both had their own new Game Boys, so they didn't need the old one. So he's like, you can just have this, and I was like, are you serious?
Really, man?
This is amazing. Like it was like the best thing in my life, and I got Pokemon, and I like would play Pokemon in my room when my mom didn't know.
Did she ever find it?
Yeah, eventually like she found out because like I think I brought it on a road trip or like she found it or something like that, and then she was like, "Where'd you get this?" I was like, "Connor let me borrow it," and she was like, "Oh, that was nice of him," like, you know.
Oh.
Yeah, but then eventually she like found it and like knew that I was keeping it because that was originally I think what he did say. He was like, you can just borrow it, but I don't really like need it back. You can kind of just have it, and I still have it, which is hilarious.
That's awesome.
But anyways,
that's crazy. I think I didn't play. I don't even remember what game I used to play on that Game Boy, but I don't remember having the color one. I just remember having the black and white one.
And it didn't have a light, so you'd have to like if you wanted to play it at night, you'd have to like get the little light or use a flashlight or something.
Wasn't it like green? It like didn't even light up the screen really.
yeah. There was a bunch of colors, but yeah, it literally didn't light up the screen.
Oh my god,
it was ridiculous. But anyways,
technology has changed so
you
much.
mentioned kind of that you know your mom was like letting you play like gymnastics games and like fashion games and stuff. Like, were you always like super into that growing up?
Always. I mean, I've loved fashion before I can remember. Like,
really,
I don't remember not loving it. I think the true stepping towards fashion in my life, I was like maybe elementary school. Whenever Lizzie McGuire was out, I would copy her exact outfits. Like, I would pause, and that was when Pause first came out on TV. So I would pause it and I would write down her outfit, all of her outfits for the episode that was on for that night. And then that weekend, my mom and I would go shopping for the exact outfits, and I would like literally copy everything.
That's so funny.
And it was amazing.
I just remember Lizzie McGuire had those like super fat, chunky flip-flops.
Yes! I wouldn't wear those because like I think they weren't allowed at school or whatever.
Oh, really?
Do you remember in elementary school where they'd be like, if it twists, you must resist?
What? No, I was homeschooled, remember?
Oh,
like,
yeah!
I could wear whatever the fuck
God.
I wanted.
You couldn't wear flip-flops that were twisted, like in case you broke your fucking ankle at school or whatever.
Huh.
But like, I always remember our 6th grade assistant principal being like, if it twists, you must resist. Like,
That's
we were
so
all
lame.
like, what a loser.
That's the lamest thing.
So lame. Oh my God, it was lame.
That's super lame.
Anyways.
Yeah, that was funny because I went to a private school until high school.
Right.
So I had to wear like a uniform. Like, there was no question. You had to wear
Right.
closed-toed shoes and all
Oh my
that.
gosh, I would have died.
Yeah, luckily my uniform wasn't that ridiculous. You just had to you could wear like khaki shorts and like literally I wore
that's
khaki
not
shorts and like a blue polo like every day of my life for like 5 years.
That's
something
horrible.
Like that. 4
I'm
years.
sorry.
It's okay. It wasn't
Sorry
the biggest
you had to
deal.
go through that.
But and you had to have your hair like you couldn't have your hair over your ears and your hair couldn't be past your collar in the back.
Oh my gosh.
And it couldn't touch your eyebrows. So
What?
like since that was like the rule, every guy would like push the limits as hard as they could just to like
close.
yeah, so like literally your hair would be like touching your eyebrow. It would be like on your ear
On top
or like
of it.
over it, but then you'd like push it back when the principal came around. Or like if it was like touching your collar, you'd like sit up like straighter or whatever.
Oh
like
my God.
it was ridiculous, and they would literally make
They'd
you
hate
go
it.
get a haircut. Like if you showed up to school like a certain amount of days in a row without getting your hair cut properly, like they would send you home
Was
or
this
whatever.
like a Catholic school?
It was a Christian school. It was
Jeez, it seems a little
Perimeter
strict.
Church.
Yeah,
It
I
was-
used to go to the Bricks there.
Yeah. So Perimeter Christian School. I went to school there for.
Oh.
That was my home, like 7 days a week, pretty much, except 6 days a week, except for Saturday. So it was like I would go there every day,
then
Monday
go to
through
church
Friday,
on
and then I'd
Sunday?
go to church on Sunday and hang out there a lot.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So did
which
you
is
go to
crazy.
Bricks?
Yeah, I went to the Bricks a decent bit. Yeah.
We loved the Bricks.
Yeah, the Bricks was like really cool. For people who don't know, basically like the Bricks was this idea that kids are gonna want to go hang out places anyways. So why don't we give them like a cool place to hang out that's safe, and their parents are like willing to go drop them off, and then we'll also like tell them about Jesus at the end.
Yes.
And like
We'll sneak it in there at the very
sneak
end.
in the Jesus at the end. It's real, it's quick and easy.
Real
You'll
quick
just
and easy. They won't even know
quickly
what's
talk
coming.
about Jesus. But yeah, when the Bricks first came out, man, that was the shit because it was before the parents of Perimeter like kind of ruined it.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning, they would set up like skateboard ramps and stuff outside where the like skater kids would come and do tricks and stuff. They had like a wall of TVs that had like Halo, which is rated M, and these are middle schoolers, so of course the Perimeter parents like freaked out
when they found that out.
yeah, there was like Guitar Hero, which was awesome, but that was rated T because there's swear words in it, and the girls in it are wearing bras, like, you know.
Bras.
Yeah, and like they had like computers where you could like go on AIM and like talk to your friends that weren't there.
AIM was lit.
It was so lit, and like everyone had just gotten Facebook, so you could like go on Facebook and like write on people's walls.
Oh my God, do you remember when people would write on people's walls?
It's so cringy because when you go back
even
on like
think about it now.
on this day, blah blah blah, and it's like, hey Cameron, missed you at school today. Love you lots.
Lesser sign 3333.
Yeah, and everyone would add on extra letters to everything and be like, OMG, and like G, like bye with like so many E's and like, oh my gosh, that was the most cringy time ever.
It was.
But anyways, the Bricks was super cool because it was like a place to hang out for middle schoolers, and like your parents were like down with it, and everyone just like met up there. It was so fun.
Yeah, I think that everybody like was starting to get to the point in their lives where we were like, oh, like parents aren't cool, we're cool. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to hang out with my parents anymore.
I want to go play basketball with my friends. I want to go play Halo with my friends.
I want to do hood shit with my friends.
Yeah. I'm going to go skateboard at the church. Yeah, but it was funny because, like, literally the parents of Perimeter, like, ruined that place. I mean, I don't really know because I don't know how it is now, but I just remember, like, slowly but surely they, like, foam padded everything, you know, like, just took out, like, every little fun thing that we were like, what? What? There's so way. And, like, all the workers there would be like, yeah, I know, a parent, like, complained, and
they all knew.
They all knew this, like, one bitch parent or whoever it was, you know, that was like, my son is not allowed, and I'm going to tell all the other parents unless you change this, blah, blah, blah. And, like, they would go to, like, the elders of the church and be like, do you know that they're playing video games with nudity? Or, like, whatever. And it's
her
like,
name is Stacy.
Yeah.
I don't know what her last name was, but Stacy.
In Guitar Hero? Or the mom?
The mom. That just sounds like a Stacy thing.
It sounds like a total Stacy, or like a Cheryl.
Sharon.
Or a Sharon, or a Nancy.
Ooh, Nancy's are nasty too.
Oh, hey, Nancy.
Nancy. You'll never believe what the kids are doing at the church.
Have you seen that meme? It's like the official, it's like the haircut that's like really short in the back, and it's like the official haircut of "Let me speak to your manager" or something like that.
Those are my favorite because my mom has the haircut.
Oh my God, that's
She's
hysterical.
not like that though. She doesn't like want to talk to the manager, but it just
she doesn't want to talk to them.
She doesn't. She just wants to bitch about it all day long.
That's hilarious.
Oh my God.
But anyways, I digress about the bricks. But yeah, so like.
That was fun.
What were we talking about in middle school? Oh yeah, the flip-flop thing. And you were like talking about how you couldn't wear flip-flops in middle school. Yeah. So you would copy all of Lizzie McGuire's outfits and all that kind of stuff.
I worshipped her and I listened to all of her CDs. Lizzie McGuire and Hilary Duff, actually.
Yeah.
And then I just liked styling, and then I had the idea that I wanted to open my own store when I was older. So like, and this was the age where like people, and I know that everybody can agree, had taken probably their first like ADD pill in like freshman year or sophomore year of high school, right? I had never tried like Adderall or anything like that before, and I tried it, and I drew out in a night 4 different floor plans for a store after I had taken that like one pill, and I was like, this shit is great. Like, look at this. I've got a plan. Like, I know what I'm doing. And I like lost all of that stuff, but I'm getting back to now where I sort of want to open a store, but I think it's going to be online because that's all the jam right now.
Exactly. Totally.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
It's cool to have a brick and mortar store because I think the biggest issue with clothes right now is obviously you can't try them on.
Yeah, and people need them fast. Like, people don't want to go to the store anymore, which is sad because I love shopping, but
I like going to the store because, like I said, like, I want to know that it fits right.
Yeah.
And, like you said, the weighting and all this stuff. There was actually this company that called Jack Threads. Have you heard of Jack Threads before? Yeah. They just went out of business because they did this crazy idea and it totally backfired on them. But what they did was they introduced this tryout program where basically you could load up your shopping cart with, it was all virtual, obviously, there wasn't stores. You could load up your shopping cart with anything you wanted and they would ship it to you for free. They wouldn't charge you until 14 days later, because what they would do is they would ship you all this stuff for free. You could try it on, and then whatever you didn't want, you would send back, and they already had prepaid the postage. So literally in your box, they were expecting you to send stuff back. So they would give you the postage. They'd even give you a piece of tape to seal the box back. Like literally, it was so easy. It was genius, actually.
Yeah.
And so you could send yourself a whole bunch of stuff, try it all on, and send back what you wanted, and then by the 14-day period or whatever, when they got your stuff back, they'd charge you for whatever you kept.
Right.
But the problem is like having that much inventory was just like killer for them because people would order every single size of a pair of jeans just to see what their size was or whatever.
Right.
Literally, like I think because guys literally don't know, so they're just like, I don't know what my size is, so it's free. I'm gonna send them back, so I'll just buy every style and every size. And they should have had some sort of stipulations like you can only try out 10 pieces per week or something like that.
Right.
Or you'd have
3
to pay.
different sizes of the same thing. Like, obviously, give yourself like a...
Exactly. And so they actually went out of business, which is crazy.
Wow.
They closed their doors. They closed their online doors like a few weeks ago. But
that's sad.
Yeah, because I thought it was a genius idea.
It's a lot like Bonobos. Do you know Bonobos?
Yeah, I'm familiar with it, but I've never shopped there, so I don't really fully know. It's like online, but they also have stores.
They have that's their version of like the try-on thing. Yeah, and there's one at Shops of Buckhead where I used to work. Anyways, it's an awesome model. Like I loved that job, and the guys would come in and try everything on, and we had like sample sizes. We didn't carry any inventory there.
So they were all just try-on clothes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You just tried on everything, and there was like an extra small, medium, large, extra large, extra large, and then all of those options in a slim or a like there was just so many sizes. It was crazy, but guys would literally sit there and be like, I don't know, let me try them all. And it's like, no, don't try them all. Like, you have to have a ballpark of like your size. Like, women usually know their sizes.
Well, the thing about a lot of typical shirts though for guys, they're not designed for an actual human. Like they're all like,
you're right, you're so right,
fucking square and weird. Like they're not typically. So like some shirts that I have, I'll wear like a large. Some shirts I literally wear a small, just because like the way that it fits or whatever.
Yeah.
Like for example, at work we have to wear like a T-shirt that has our logo on it. I wear a large because the length of the small is too short. But like the arms and the chest area of a small would fit me great. But I have to wear this oversized piece of shit shirt that's large because the length is too short. But like another shirt, like an extended length shirt, I could totally wear a small and it fits me great because the length is good or whatever, you know? So in that regard, I can totally understand how guys are confused because,
I guess that's true.
You know, the sizing between companies, there's this small, medium, large, and also guys want to feel macho and like, I wear a large, bro. I'm large, bro.
Right.
I'm a large dude, man.
Extra large.
Yeah, give me that extra large. Give me that large. Like there's this guy at the gym that I see all the time. He's a pretty short guy.
Yeah.
And he's always wearing these giant shirts, and I'm kind of just like, dude, just swallow your ego and buy a small.
I'm sorry that
I
you're
know
not
small
ever gonna
sounds
be able to
really unmacho. Small is like such a lame name.
Especially if he's at the gym and he's trying to get big.
And he's a trainer. That's the funniest thing.
That kills them. If you say the word small around them, they're like, who, me? I'm not small.
Bro, I lift twice my body weight, bro.
Bro.
Yeah, you just get that like,
oh my God.
But anyways, like, we kind of just like went down a rabbit hole, and I still want to talk about all that kind of stuff. But how, like, so let's like finish your story kind of. So you went to college, and then you dropped out, and then like, were you're still like super into fashion and stuff?
Yeah.
So like, what happened?
Okay, I'll try to stay on track.
No, it's okay. Like that's what the podcast is all about.
So I dropped out. I started working at a boutique called Dress Up, and I loved their clothes, and it was such a great job to have right out of college. I was kind of spoiled. Like, I worked 40 hours a week. I made $800 every 2 weeks. Like, I was like, I like this work stuff. Like, this is really working out for me. And then if we hit bonus, which we always did because it was a new boutique and it was really cheap and everybody wanted to shop there, we always had at least $200 worth of store credit every 2 weeks.
Wow.
So my closet was this boutique.
Yeah.
But they
like every style of everything.
Every style of everything that they've ever had, because everything was so cheap and we got so much store credit. I think they don't realize how much they were giving us, like, or how much we liked the clothes.
Yeah.
But so they are and the owners are huge Christians, like huge Christians, and they're
really fat. I'm just kidding.
They're actually not. They're actually two really good-looking.
That's awesome. No, I was just saying because you were saying huge Christians, and I was like, oh, I get it. I'm just huge. It was a bad joke.
They're bad, not so much on their religion.
They're very Christians.
Yes, see. And they sort of started to encourage us to be more Christian, and I was like, I don't feel comfortable with you.
In
telling
what way?
Me. Like, they would encourage us to go and buy devotional journals, and like they would want us to do like sort of a study group like in the back on like breaks and stuff, and I was like, I would like this and not my work. Like, I would prefer to do this
like
in an
don't
actual...
shit where you eat kind of thing. Like, I'm not trying to, like, get all intimate with these coworkers because I also have to, like, deal with them on a daily basis.
And I don't particularly like my coworkers here because they just are, like, pretentious, really, like, I'm the best.
Was it a lot of high school kids or not?
No, they were all older than me. They were all, I was 18 when I was working there, and they were all like 22, 23,
Gotcha.
Like so much older than me, and all of them were either engaged, married, and had kids. Like any of them already had that, and I was just so young. And I think they were trying to like mold me into something, and I was like,
no, thank you.
No, I'm gonna go now.
He wasn't ready. No. That's so funny. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, are your parents like religious, or like did you grow up like that, or not really?
I mean, we always prayed, I guess, but we never, I mean, we would go to church. We always go on Christmas, like always go on Christmas.
But it wasn't like a weekly thing to go to church?
My mom would love it to be a weekly thing, but sometimes it just doesn't work out with our schedules. And like when we were kids, we would go every once in a while, and like something, like my parents used to fight all the time. They would like fight, and my mom would be like, we need to go to church. Like after they would have like a huge fight, like as a family, we need to go. I'm like, you need Jesus. We all pretty much have them. I think you are the one that probably needs to, but we'll go. We'll join you.
That's so funny.
So anytime like...
We need Jesus.
Yeah, we need Jesus. She wishes that we would go every Sunday all together. And I'll go every once in a while if I'm feeling like, sure.
Yeah, I think you know, there's some people that are just like really, really against church. And it's like, there's nothing inherently bad with church.
Right.
I think people get a weird taste of church, like a bad taste in their mouth of church. Like I go to church with my parents like all the time. Like I actually enjoy going to church because typically the message, like you can, my personal philosophy is you can always learn something from everybody.
Yeah.
Like there's always something to learn from every single person. Somebody knows something that you don't know.
Right.
You might as well try to like absorb it. And apply your own opinion to it. Don't just take face value for everything.
Right.
So it's like at church, you kind of get to understand like, oh, wow, that's an interesting perspective. I don't really agree with that. Oh, but I do agree with it. You know?
Yeah.
So it's like bring your own thing to the table. And that's how I kind of approach church.
Where do you
nowadays.
go to church?
I've been going to Gwinnett Church.
Okay.
Up in, it's like a North Point church.
Yeah, okay. I go to the one that's off North Point.
Gotcha. Like the actual North Point church. Yeah. Yeah, that's, I really like North Point. A lot of people, I would say, because I grew up going to Perimeter, right? And Perimeter's a really big church, and North Point's also a really big church, even bigger. Yeah. And so there was not like turf war kind of thing, but it was always kind of like Perimeter was like, well, those North Point people are, you know, blah, blah, blah.
Oh my God. Even church women can't keep their mouths shut.
But the thing about North Point that I appreciate is they're all, you know, people at Perimeter be like, well, North Point just spends so much money on all this production and that's just unnecessary, blah, blah, blah. And like, the thing, North Point's mission is to create an environment that people that don't like going to church like to go to. Yeah. That's their whole mission.
Exactly.
And then they're like, if you want to get really deep in the Bible and all that stuff, do that in your like small group or do that on your own time, like whatever. Yeah. But on Sundays, we're going to come together and try to like share a message that anyone can get into, not just a message that the really hardcore Christians are going to, you know, absorb. Because when you go to a church like that where the message is so deep and you're getting like so much, you know, all this stuff that's really religious on a Sunday, and you invite your friend to come, they're like super weirded out and they're just not receptive. Yeah. And they're like, why are we singing these weird songs and all this like this is not normal, this is really cultish. Yeah. And when you go to North Point, you get a vibe of like, oh, this is kind of like a concert at first, you know, like the music's really loud and like there's really high production value and like, oh, now we're going to watch a cool video, you know? And so some people at Perimeter, I would say, kind of hated on that in the sense of like, oh, North Point's childish. You know, like, oh, like it's really like dumbed down.
Not a real church, maybe?
Not even that, but it was like it's dumbed down. And they would, and like a lot of times the message is kind of a lot of like, almost not self-help, but like it is kind of like, you know. Yeah. you can take, it's a very broad message that anyone can relate to, which is good, I think.
Yeah, I think that a lot of the times that I feel like I want to go to church is when I feel like I need to take a little bit of like time to like focus on myself.
And there's something interesting about when you go, I've become very, very aware of this in the past couple of years, that environments really can play a huge role. Like when I was younger, I didn't really think about what my environments were like. And like, for example, now I understand why I had such a hard time studying. Probably a decent bit of it was because I was always trying to study in my room where there was so much fun stuff to do.
Yeah.
You know, but if I was like in an environment where I was, you know, there was nothing else to really do, and maybe there's other people there that were studying too, I would like actually get down to business. But if I was like by myself and I was in my room, I was going to start playing with something doing something else.
No chance.
Exactly. And like I've realized, like for example, if I was going to try to like do yoga in my living room, I would just I would just like stop. Yeah. But if I go to yoga class and it's like really dim and there's music playing and like there's essential oils in the air and you've got this like different vibe and there's a teacher and everyone else is doing it, you can get like so into it. Yeah. And like you are able to hold the poses for way longer and stuff like that. And it's like if I was doing a video at my house, I would just be like, I'm tired, and like fall over or whatever.
Exactly.
Because there's no one like judging you,
or
like your phone would buzz and you start texting somebody or whatever. But when you're in that environment, you have to kind of do that. And so the North Point environment or the church environment in general, like you're in a weird environment where you know it's disrespectful to look at your phone. So you kind of have to, even if you're not listening to the message per se, you might be kind of in your head just thinking about things or whatever, and I think sometimes that's kind of beneficial. And it's this weird, like, you know, the best way to describe it is religious experience because everyone's there together, like watching this thing. I don't know. It's cool.
I like it, and I think that they do, and Andy Stanley is doing and I just think that he is the shit.
Yeah, he's great. I really like Andy Stanley.
Say that about a pastor, but I really
Andy
think
Stanley's
that
the shit.
Love that guy.
Fucking love that guy. The fucking best pastor.
Best.
He fucking loves God, dude.
Oh my god. He's fun, and see, this is why I can say that about him, because he just makes it cool.
He does, actually.
He makes it cool and he makes it funny, and
there always has to be some sort of comedic element. Like, I feel like if you're ever gonna capture a crowd, you have to constantly be throwing in some sort of comedic thing every minute or two to
or something
keep
to
it fresh.
Change the vibe. Like, even if it's a little like, what?
Because it feels like he's talking down to you. You're just like, fuck this guy. Or if you feel like he's just too deep in the weeds, you're like, this is so boring. But he always is really good he's a very good speaker.
I think that too. And the time, I was a tad hungover when I went on Sunday. And sometimes I have a hard time like absorbing the information when I'm hungover, like I do if I go anywhere when I'm hungover. But like I sit there and I'm like, oh come on, absorb it, like and then there'll just be times where I'm like melting into my seat, I feel like. But otherwise I'm always like cool, Jesus. Yeah. Fucking love you, Andy.
That's funny. And another funny thing about Andy Stanley is like, if you ever notice, he always does this. Like, he'll always like slow down at the end of the message and like he'll say the last word super slow. He's like, and then I told him I love you or whatever, or whatever,
Jesus said yes.
Yeah.
And like, we're all like, yeah. Oh, Jesus.
So true.
So true.
But it's crazy how you can use those conversational patterns and it really makes you pay attention. Like, what is he going to say? What did he say?
He is right. Yes, he's right.
Exactly. And so it is funny. Like especially after kind of getting into public speaking and like talking a lot and stuff, you kind of realize, oh, why is he doing that? And sometimes he'll talk really low and sometimes he'll talk really loud and whatever. He's just like really good at it. But anyways.
Yeah, he's great. We love him.
Exactly.
Love you, Andy.
Yeah. So anyways, to go back, we were talking about your parents wanting to go to church and all that and stuff, but not really.
We never really did.
But I don't remember why we were even talking about that necessarily.
We were talking about my parents.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and you were saying dress up.
Yes! Okay, you're good at getting back to the point.
We're back.
I'm really bad.
We're back, people. Everyone listening, we're back on track.
We're back.
We're back at Dress Up, everyone. Previously on the Andrew Deitch podcast. All right.
Oh my gosh.
So you kind of were like not vibing the Christian stuff. I'm gonna dip out.
I think I'm gonna go, and the Egg Harbor was like, you should come work for us, and I was like, I love the people that work there. Like, I never have had an issue with them. Like,
so for people that are listening, it's like a little breakfast spot.
It's the best breakfast spot. There's one in Johns Creek, there's one in Sandy Springs, and there's one in Buckhead. There's a new location in East Cobb too, but that's really fucking far. It's a really cute. They have a bar at that one, and they don't have a bar at any of the other ones. Anyways, so I worked there for 4 years in high school, and I knew everybody already that worked there. I knew what to do.
So this was before Dress Up.
Yeah, this was in high school when I worked there, but then after I decided to quit Dress Up, I was like, I'll just go back to Egg Harbor because they love me and I love them and whatever, it's easy.
And you didn't have to do devotionals?
I didn't have to do devotionals. But the owners of Egg Harbor are very religious, and they don't push religion on their managers, but they really like they pay for them to go to manager courses, like to really make them the best managers that they can be. So it's just like a really awesome company to work for.
Nice.
I just don't want to be in the food industry, so
exactly.
I wish I could find something in the fashion industry that's something like that, but everybody's an asshole in the fashion industry. But so I worked there, and then I have had so many jobs. It's insane.
Same here.
I've just worked everywhere. It's crazy. I've worked Brewster's was my first job, and then I worked Egg Harbor, and then I worked Dress Up, and then I worked Bavella, which is a different place, and then I worked at Grand Slam, the batting cages. It was the best job ever. I love that job. I only worked there for a summer though. And then I worked at, where else did I work? Bonobos, and then I did my internships in LA, and then I've done so much.
That's awesome.
But anyways.
So, but you always kind of wanted to come back to the fashion thing. So talk about when you went to LA. So like how did that come about? So that happened, so I became a nanny, and I decided that I was going to save up all the money that I made from nannying to pay for a stylist certification class in LA. And what do you get from being a certified stylist or whatever?
It doesn't really mean anything unless you're in LA. So I regret a little bit moving home, but there was a lot of reasons behind that.
Because it's like, for example, like, I'm a certified chiropractor. Like, I am licensed to be allowed to touch your back and all this stuff. Or like, I am a licensed hairstylist. I'm legally allowed to touch your hair and do all this stuff with scissors next to your head. But like, for a stylist, it's kind of like, I feel like you don't really necessarily need a certification, but I guess in the industry, you want to have it because it looks good.
Exactly. And the LA fashion industry is just so different from any other one. Like, even in New York, it's very like high fashion and magazine there. It's like the real like hardcore stuff that you have to like maybe go to school for, like design and like marketing, and like all the corporate stuff happens in New York, but all the fun stuff happens in LA because it's LA, and LA is the shit. And it's very laid back, but like they take you very serious like in your job, but like it's just it's like red carpet, and all the award shows are there, and all the photo shoots and the music videos and everything that's fun happens there. So it's a little bit more laid back, but I decided that that's where I wanted to do celebrity wardrobe styling because they have a lot of money and they pay really well. So
for sure.
I decided to save up all my money from nannying, which was like $10,000. And that was the most I've ever had in my entire life at one time. I was like, this is a lot of money.
You're like, this is awesome.
But my certification was $5,000. So $5,000 of that went there. And then I moved to LA and I did these internships.
Did you have like roommates and stuff, or did you live by yourself?
God, I wish I lived by myself, but it happened so fast. I applied to the internship, and in 3 days they were like, can you move out here in a month? I was like, fuck yeah, I can move out there in a month, but this is going to be hard.
For sure.
So I was like, all right, I'm coming, like I'll be there. And so
what was like the agency or whatever, like what?
I started at Taylor Jacobson's styling, which, I mean, they're kind of just known for their name. They don't really have like a business name. They technically have to, like through the government and stuff. So Taylor Jacobson, I don't know if anybody out there that's listening is into fashion or has ever been into fashion, but Taylor Jacobson used to work for a really famous stylist named Rachel Zoe, who used to style like Jennifer Gardner, Cameron Diaz in their like prime time. And she's a
Never heard of them. I'm just kidding.
She can't be that big.
She can't be that big. I don't know who any of those people are. I'm just messing with you.
And so Taylor was her assistant and was on her TV show. So a lot of people know her from being like the sort of like bitchy stylist on the show. She was a really interesting person to work for. Celebrity styling, first off, LA is just a different world, but like celebrity styling is a different world. Like there's so much that goes into it, and there's so much time that goes into these things. Like these people just look effortless on the red carpet, you know, like what people see through TV and stuff.
They have someone whose full-time job it is to make them look good.
Yeah, and that's what wardrobe styling is. So back to like the purpose of having a certification is like in LA, they kind of want you to put in the time and effort into becoming that, and they just don't want you to, they don't want to think, and they have every reason to think that people get into it just to meet celebrities. So
I hadn't thought about that aspect, but that makes a lot of sense actually.
I mean, because a lot of people really can't control, like, have you seen, like, some of these videos that I watch of these, like, and just for example, like, I think Justin Bieber is very attractive, but I don't think that I would be like screaming, crying, like shaking if I saw him in person. And some of these people are like that, but they don't know who they are, you know, until they can kind of see that they've been working and wanting to do something like this, except just not like, ooh, I could get into this by meeting celebrities, you know, whatever. So they really have to make sure.
I want to talk about the whole thing with Justin Bieber and how people freak out. But like, I want to talk about that later because I think that's a very fascinating subject. But
it is a fascinating subject.
But keep going.
But so they just kind of want to see that you're willing to just like drop everything and go and do it, and for the right reasons. And I think that's probably why they picked me. But anyways, I digress. I worked for her. We styled Jon Hamm. We styled Ariel Winter from Modern Family, and Kate Beckinsale.
What is she from again?
She was in Click. She was Adam Sandler's wife, but she was in something else that everyone's like, oh my god, I can't believe you can't think of that movie name, because it's like a huge, it's like, she's really hot brunette, older lady.
Yeah.
You would recognize her the second you see her.
I'm familiar with Click. I can picture her in my head, but I feel like sometimes all the like hot white ladies just all meld together in my head.
They do.
Kate Beckinsale.
Kate's a hot name.
I guess Kate is kind of a hot name. Yeah.
But they just kind of want to see.
Say something mean.
I
was like, there was this one Kate I know. All of the Kates listening to this are like, is it me?
Is it me? You'll never know.
Yeah. I feel like my one friend Kate, like that's actually my friend, Kate Hannafin. If you're listening to this, it's not you.
Okay. Good.
Kate Hannafin, I think you're a beautiful woman.
Aww.
But another girl named Kate that I knew from back in the day, it was kind of like, Anyway.
I know, don't you hate that when you love a name and then you meet someone that has that name and you're like, no, I don't want you to have that name because I like that name.
I feel like girls think about that all the time. I don't really think about that as much.
Just because we think about what we're going to name our children?
Probably.
And if I meet somebody, I don't even want to say the name out loud that I want to name my child, because if I meet someone that I hate with that name, I'm not going to be able to use it.
Names are so arbitrary. Like, they're so meaningless, though, you know? Like,
really?
Like, I don't know.
Names
they're meaningful, but at the same time, it's like, what's in a name? Like, blue doesn't mean anything, but everyone just, like, associates the name with whatever the thing is. You know, we could call it blah, 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 blah. But it would still be the same thing, but we just decided to call it this. Like, my name's Andrew, but, like, Andrew doesn't, I mean, whatever, like, the translation means something, but
whatever.
You know, I could be named Steven, and I'd be the same guy.
You'd just be named
And we'd be listening to the Steven Deitch podcast. How's it going, everybody? Steven Deitch here. Steven Deitch.
You'd have to talk like that.
Yeah, hey guys.
Because anybody named Steven talks like that.
Hey guys. I don't know why I'm doing that for Steven. If your name is Steven, I'm sorry. But anyways.
So they just kind of take you more seriously if you have put in the work to do it. So that's why I did it.
Makes sense.
And it costs a lot of money, and they know that like it's just a lot of sacrifice to become a stylist. So they want to see that, which is why it was
What's the sacrifice?
dropping everything and having no sleep and not eating and just
what do you mean dropping
really
everything?
tired.
Like at the drop of a hat, you need to come up with an outfit for this person, kind of? Or?
Well, as an intern, to prove that, you know, your loyalty to your stylist, it sort of sounds like a cult, but it's not. Just an industry. And, you know, you have to be able to be, like, relied on because a lot of shit goes wrong. Like, if something, like, for example, we set up a whole fitting at Kate Beckinsale's house in Bel Air, and we had like 3 racks of clothes, like so much, because she could not decide on anything for her life. Like we could bring her 50 dresses and she'd be like, I don't like any of these. Like, how do you not? There's 50 gowns, beautiful gowns. How can you not choose one? And so we set up a whole fitting with shoes and everything, like probably over 100 pairs of shoes, like so many
How
dresses.
much would that even cost to supply that?
It doesn't. We borrow everything from showrooms because they want celebrities to wear their name. It's all free. It's all free, which is crazy.
And then when they wear it, they just keep it?
No, we'll return it. You return it, or if they like it on her enough, they'll just give it to her.
Huh.
Yeah, or him, whoever.
Will they wear it again?
Probably not. But just knowing that they have it, and then they can use that picture forever and ever and ever and ever and ever.
Whoa.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And they get so many free gifts. It's sickening. Okay, so back to Kate Beckinsale.
Of course.
And first off, listeners can't see my arm, but it's literally a 90-degree, not 90, what is that?
45 degree.
45 degree angle to get up her stairs, and we had to carry racks up. Like it was a pain in the ass. Get there, we set it up.
50 dresses, so you have to carry all of this stuff
and
up
all
the
of
stairs.
it is filled to the brim. I mean, I don't have a very big car. I have an Audi. It's just like really small, but filled to the brim of garment bags, like 23 garment bags with like, I don't know, 6 dresses in it each. Like, do that math. And we set it all up. It took us like an hour to set up. And then she calls my stylist and says, I'm at a hotel. You needed to bring it to me at my hotel. Are you fucking kidding me?
How far away was the hotel?
It was at the Beverly Hilton, so it was down the street. But like, we had just spent an hour getting all this shit out of our car. Now we had to pack it all up and bring it to your stupid bitch ass at your fucking hotel because you're a psycho.
So you really like this lady?
So Kate Beckinsale is one of my favorite clients.
Oh, of course.
How
is Jon Hamm? I feel like he's really cool.
I didn't meet him, but I did carry his shoes a lot.
Ooh.
I picked up all of his tuxedos. I touched it before he wore it, so,
wow.
you know, technically I did meet him.
Whoa.
I heard he's an angel, though.
I was going to say, I feel like he'd be a really cool guy.
I heard he's an angel. The people I did meet that were really cool were Kaylee Cuoco from Big Bang Theory. She introduced herself to me because we're not allowed to talk to them. Like, we're really not. Unless they introduce themselves to us, we've been told just to be like, we're just invisible.
A robot.
Yeah, invisible. Like, we're not even there.
Whoa.
Just like setting up, and if
That's
they
so
come down,
fucked.
Isn't it? But
that's like literally so fucked. Like, I feel like your ego would have to be through the roof for you to expect other people to just not be humans around you.
that's Hollywood. That's what Hollywood is. Sorry to break it to you guys, but Hollywood is not as glamorous as you thought it was. Nobody's really that
fake.
nice. It's all fake. It's all fake.
That's my big thing about,
crazy?
like, I feel like you were allowed to kind of get away with that in the past, but in today's day and age of social media, like, for example, right now, you are talking shit about Kate Beckinsale, and so now everyone that listens to this is like, oh shit, she's not as nice.
Yeah.
And so...
If I was working for her, I wouldn't have been able to say that, though.
Oh, of course not, but I'm just saying, but now that you're not, and now people are probably going to say, you know, that comes up in conversation, someone's going to be like, oh, I heard she's a bitch.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I listened to this podcast, this girl was one of her stylists, and, like, she was a total bitch.
Yeah.
And, like, that's just the day, today, in today's day and age, it pays you dividends to just be a fucking good person.
Yeah, because people are going to find out if you're an asshole.
What's the ROI of being a good person? What's the return on your investment of being nice? In today's day and age, it could be infinite because you never freaking know how far it's gonna take it. If you do something really mean, you might get blasted on social media and you go viral and your whole career, your whole life is ruined Or
Done.
what if you do something really nice for somebody, let's say, and you might not even be trying to promote it, but maybe someone catches it on camera and you go viral for being the nicest person on earth.
Exactly.
So it's like, hey people, how about you just be nice? Because you never know who's going to be watching you.
Here's an idea.
And here's a tip. Being nice is absolutely free. Doesn't cost anything to be nice.
Nope.
And so be nice.
Just be nice. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, that's the message. But anyways.
That's the moral of our podcast.
Exactly. That's the moral. But so to go back to the celebrity thing. So like what happened at the end? Why'd you come back and like the whole thing?
So I worked for Taylor, and then her assistant who hired me in the first place was moving stylist. She got a new job with a new stylist and she wanted me to come with her. So I did. I quit Taylor's thing. Well, Taylor one time, this was sort of like the end all be all for Taylor because she had just treated everybody like shit. Like she doesn't like care about anybody. I'm really exposing all these people. Sorry.
Hey.
Don't care. And well, I mean, they could have hired me and I would have been like the best assistant, but they decided not to give me a chance. So their loss. And anyways, so we were doing shoes. We were organizing the shoes because we had a huge return. And we're organizing the shoes, organizing the jewelry, and we get very expensive jewelry. Like I walked out of Neil Lane one time with $150,000 worth of jewelry just in one bag. Like it was a necklace and a pair of earrings. It's just like crazy how much shit costs.
One necklace and one pair of earrings? Mm-hmm. Why is it so expensive?
Because diamonds. So many diamonds.
Just diamonds.
Sparkly shit. Is expensive. So I remember walking out of there and I came back and Taylor said to the main assistant, Cameron's not capable of taking that stuff back. And I was just like, bitch, I have done so much shit for you.
Why did she say you're not capable?
I don't, because she was feeling like, and she was pregnant for a long time. For a long time.
So we'll give her a pass.
So we'll give her a little bit of a pass, but like.
But what was she saying you were incapable of? Because it was so expensive?
Yeah, I was like, I picked this up. Like, I brought it here.
Did she not know
just
that?
didn't think, no, she doesn't know anything. She just knows that it happens. We make it happen.
Huh.
So
she was like, these are really expensive. Cameron can't be trusted with $150,000 jewelry.
Basically, in front of me. Like, I was standing right there. I was like, God, you're such a good. See you next Tuesday. Oh, yep. I hate her. Anyways, and so then I moved. See you next
Tuesday, bitch.
See you next Tuesday, bitch. And so then I just moved to a different.
For people.
I was gonna be nice about it, but she is.
For people that don't know what see you next Tuesday means.
Sorry, guys. I try to keep it down. I'm a sailor.
I said it.
I was trying to be nice.
I appreciate it.
And so then I moved to a different stylist, and I had a good time there. It was just really long hours. I was working like 16 hours a day. No, like hardly any sleep, 5 days a week.
So like a lot of people are probably thinking like, oh, Cameron went to fashion school. It wasn't like you went to school. You were like literally working for these people.
Yeah. It was, well, for free because it was in an internship. So,
yep. Whoa, internship. That's the funniest way of saying, hey, we're going to make you our bitch.
Oh, that's so nice.
Oh, a nice little internship. Oh my God, Cameron is doing an internship. She's doing really well.
Like,
she's not making any money. It's great.
That's literally.
That's the most cop out white person way of telling you that you're not making any money.
Everybody.
Oh my God, she's doing an internship.
She's doing an internship. She's learning so much. So she's gaining knowledge. It might not be like she's not getting paid, but like she's
getting so much knowledge. But that's kind of what we were actually talking about earlier. How go work for someone for free. But right. I just think the word internship is just silly.
It's a bullshit.
Yeah. It's like, just call it what it is. You're working for free.
Yep. And it was just really hard. And she lived up in the hills, like up Mulholland Drive, like like you don't even get service where this woman lives. And her office.
Who are we talking about?
Anita Patrickson. She's a different stylist that I worked for. She styled Chrissy Teigen, Julianne Hough, Lily Aldridge. Every girl on here is like, oh my God, what? Like.
I was gonna say, I know Chrissy Teigen. I don't know the other people.
Lily Aldridge is a Victoria's Secret angel.
Oh, no wonder I don't know her.
Julianne Hough is that blonde chick that's got really deep, like blue eye, like really light blue eyes. She's a dancer and a singer, and I think she played the main chick in Grease, the Fox version.
Not ringing any bells.
Sorry. Well, she's beautiful. Anyways, it doesn't
sure
really matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter who she is.
Yeah.
That's just like people.
It's so funny though that like, people they're in today's world, there are so many celebrities.
Yeah.
Because like back in the day, there was only like TV and movies, so those were the celebrities, and there was limited channels and all this stuff. But now, there's probably 100 times more celebrities.
You could be famous for anything.
There's people that I find all the time on Instagram that have like 10 million followers, and I've never heard of them in my entire life. 10 million people love this person, and I have no idea who they are. Never heard of you. You live in Georgia. Like, you know what I mean?
How do you have 10 million followers?
Like how? Yeah, exactly. That's what's
Hard
so
work,
silly.
I guess.
And so, but I actually kind of like that idea that you're like a C-list celebrity where it's, or like a, you know, Z-list celebrity.
Literally like Instagram famous. Like that's what you are.
Exactly. Which is kind of funny. But anyways, so you had this new stylist, and she lived up in the Hollywood Hills. It was like you don't have any service or whatever.
No service up there. So like I didn't spend a lot of time in that office. I spent a lot of time doing returns for her. And then with this internship, I ended up buying a lot of coffee for them and like not getting reimbursed. And I was like, I don't make money. You guys are the ones that make money.
Ooh, that's annoying.
I'm paying for your coffee because I'm out already. Like it's just convenient for me to buy it. They're just like, all you gotta do is throw me a little cash. Like, I'm
they
living
probably
here
just don't
for
look
free.
at it like that. They're just not thinking about you.
They don't
They're
care.
only thinking about themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're kind of like, oh, let's just see. I'm never gonna. Let's see if she asks me to pay me back. Oh,
exactly.
she doesn't. Oh, cool.
Exactly. I mean, every once in a while they would like throw me a $5 or whatever, and I'm like, okay, thanks.
Cool. How about 100?
Yeah.
Because the past 30 days.
I've been paying for your coffee every day.
For your fucking $7 coffee.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Just my mom paid for everything, so I'm super thankful that she did that too. She like literally paid me through LA. And
yeah, because I was gonna say I feel like LA obviously is so expensive to live there.
Very expensive, yeah. And so the assistant that brought me over also promised me a second assistant position after I could show Anita that I was, you know. So after a couple months, I had definitely shown my like loyalty to her. I had worked my ass off. I'd worked countless hours. Like I quit my other internship so I could do her internship 5 days a week, all day long. I was there at 8 and sometimes, and I would have to drive from LA to Malibu, which is 45 minutes and back, and then continue to drive all day. Like I drove all over LA all the time, and I was in my car 99% of my time that I lived there.
Wow.
Yeah, like I hardly, but the house
sitting
I was
in
living
traffic.
In, yes. Except now I don't mind traffic because I had to sit in it. So I was just like, now I'm just kind of like, if I get in my car, I can breathe. Like my car is my safe spot.
I have kind of a weird schedule, so like I kind of don't have to sit in traffic a lot, and when I do, I'm like, how do people do this?
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah, I have a lot of patience for it. I have a lot
Makes
of
sense.
patience for it.
Makes sense.
Because I was in it all
I
the
can't
time.
wait for self-driving cars, because then you can just sit in
I can't
traffic.
wait till I can pay someone to drive me.
Ooh. But you won't need that if you have a self-driving car, because like
That's true.
the thing about the future is like people are scared because they're like, well, there's the human element. What if someone pulls out in front of you or whatever? But it's like if all the cars are self-driving and they're all talking to each other and they know what the other cars are all going to do next, that's super safe, right?
Well, then they also turn on us and they
like
kill
an
us
iRobot.
all.
Yeah,
Yep.
Exactly. Sounds good. That's the world I want to live in. Really. I just
my
want to
dream
get
world,
killed by my
actually.
car, actually. Yeah. But I mean, without all those weird ethical problems, it's like your car would just turn into a mobile office and you could be productive rather than just sitting there blankly pressing the brake applying the brake lightly every 10 seconds
Seriously.
and holding the steering wheel in a stationary position. Your car was just like, okay, the car is moving forward in front of me, I will move as well.
Yeah. I've gotten to the point where I'm so in another world when I drive. Like, I just don't even, like, sometimes I don't even know where my brain is, which
I
is
just listen to
so
podcasts.
not safe. That's not safe.
Yeah, well, when you're...
I'm an okay driver.
There's a weird thing where you kind of don't need to use much brain power when you're driving.
Isn't
Because
that crazy?
it's like second nature. You ever like sometimes you kind of just like wake up and you're like, holy crap, I wasn't paying attention for the last 10 minutes. How did I even get to this stoplight?
Yes.
Your brain's just on autopilot and like is just doing all the things. Like, okay, we've done this a million times. We can kind of shut off these other senses.
Yeah, that's what happened in LA too. Like I
Makes
just started to know where I was going and I memorized where all the showrooms were and stuff. So I just spent a lot of time driving around and knowing where I was. And like the minute I got in my car, I felt like I could scream, and I would sometimes. And I would call my mom and be like, why did you make me come here? I hate it here. Bah! Like, I got so mad.
So your mom made you come there? Or
no,
not really?
I just like was
just
mad.
Yeah.
And I would call Zach too and be like, I hate this place.
Yeah.
I hate this place.
I feel like LA can really beat people down.
Oh man, it did.
I feel like you've got to find the right people.
And I didn't. And the whole reason I think that I didn't stay, A, was because Zach wasn't there, and then B, because the house I was living in, get this, Craigslist nightmare. I went on Craigslist to look for a room because it's very expensive to live there, and my dad and I found $450 a month for rent there, like unheard of. I was gonna have to share a room, but I was like, you know what, that's not gonna be forever, like, just get me there, because I only have 3 weeks to find a place and get there. So I did. I got there, and the house was a shithole. It was it didn't look great from the outside, but like, you walked in and it was just so gross. I was like,
did it smell bad?
It smelled bad.
Oh,
like,
that's the worst.
The kitchen, there were 6 girls living there. Legally, only 3 people were supposed to be living in that house, but this guy has mushed 6 girls to like get a lot of money, basically, for not a lot of
property or whatever.
Yeah, what's the word? Like, he gets a lot of profit, but he doesn't have to put much into it. And he doesn't. Like, he never gets it cleaned. Like, it's just gross. And the kitchen was smaller than the one that I have, which isn't very big, for 6 people.
Wow.
Like, you can't have that many. Oh, gosh. So the kitchen was gross. I shared a room with a girl that was like a box. It felt like 2 twin beds, barely fit in it. Anyways, and so I found out once.
Were your roommates cool, or?
They were okay. I mean, I still only talk to one of them, Natalie. She is an angel. I love her so much. I get to see her when I go to LA, so I'm super excited. But
nice.
My other ones, I had one named Stacy, and I had one named, she was Indian, and she was such a sweetheart, but I can never pronounce her name, so I'm not going to try. But she was a really, really sweet girl. They were never in the house because they worked full time. And I had a weird schedule, so I just never saw anybody. But these other 2 girls, Natalie and Hannah, shared a room, and Hannah is the spawn of Satan. So I won't even speak of her because I hate her.
I see.
She was just the worst. Like, she was a tattletale, like, and she was 26. Like, you're too old to be tattling on people, and like, she just had such a bad attitude. I don't vibe with people that have bad attitudes. Like, I get people get in bad moods, and like, I get in bad moods, like, I get it. But if you are so negative and like sad about everything, I can't get along with you.
Yeah.
Life
it's
is
just a
too
mindset
good.
change that needs to happen.
Yeah. Life is too good for a lot of people right now for you to be like this.
Yeah.
Just put a smile on your face. That's all you gotta do.
Exactly.
Be nice, people.
Exactly.
Back to the motto. And my roommate ended up telling me that our landlord was a registered sex offender.
Yum.
You could have told me that over the phone when I talked to you before I moved over there. Like, she just didn't mention it. So, and he had a key to the house. Like, it was just a really weird situation. Ooh. And I remember Did
he ever come over?
All the time.
What the fuck?
And we weren't allowed to have alcohol in the house. We were all over 21. We weren't allowed to have alcohol in the house.
Who is this guy?
Right? His name is Brad something. I can't remember his last name.
Brad something, you're a douche.
Such a douche. Such a doucher. Anyways, so that was just, and I think I just would come home and just be like, I'm living in this gross place. I'm so unhappy with my internship. I miss everybody at home. Like, I need to go home.
Yeah.
And so my mom was like, don't come home. You are there to live your dream. Like, stay. And I was like, I'm coming home. I don't care what you say.
So how long were you in LA, and then when did you come home?
7 months I was in LA, and then I came home. I was exhausted though, dude.
Oh, I'm sure.
I was exhausted.
I'm sure. So like, let's talk about, like, you know, earlier we were kind of talking about like fashion and all the like actual fun stuff rather than like
there
the
is a lot
stuff.
of fun stuff. There is a lot of fun stuff.
Which, like, obviously, being a girl, you have to be into women's fashion, but like,
True.
you also styled men.
Yeah.
Like, what is obvious? I mean, the difference between men's style and women's style is obviously a complete different thing. And women have so much more like options.
That's true.
You know.
But simple right now, like in 2017, like simple is cool. Like it doesn't have to have a lot to it now. And dressing men to me is much more fun than dressing women. I've always enjoyed dressing men more than women.
Why do you think that is?
Because guys, I think because I like teaching guys how to do it. Because a lot of guys don't know. Like, a lot of guys don't know how to find a good pair of pants or like a good shirt that fits them or like figure out their style. Like a lot of guys are still obsessed with like the Nike socks and athletic shorts. Like I remember I went to UGA to visit one of my friends, Lauren, and the guy that she was talking to at the time, like to wear downtown, put on this like polo shirt and these like green athletic shorts with Nike socks and Nikes. I was like,
oh, no.
What the fuck are you wearing?
Oh no.
I had a couple of drinks, so I was a little bit more honest than I would have wanted to be, but I literally was like, dude, we have to change your
I think
outfit.
it's just a lot of girls have really, really low self-esteem, and so like any guy that's willing to pay them any attention, they're just like, whatever, he's like a slob, but whatever.
He like drinks a lot, but he doesn't usually remember my name, but he's like so nice.
He like barely ever hits me, and like he's really nice. He's really sweet. He's a really sweet guy.
Like, if you really get to know him, like I know him.
And he's just like, I kind of like that he doesn't know how to dress. Like, he's just like a simple guy, you know? He's like kind of fat.
He's like, he like doesn't go to the gym all the time, but he like doesn't like ever actually go.
He like wouldn't be caught dead in the gym, but like.
But like, I like his skinny little arms. I think they're so cute, and that beer belly is just adorable.
I think also a lot of times girls really like being the prettier one, and so like the uglier the guy is, like they almost...
That's almost true.
Almost true, but like there's a little bit of that. There definitely is, because like there's definitely some really good looking guys that it's like the girl is like, sometimes I feel like intimidated by that.
A lot of the times, and I think this is the first time I'm saying this out loud, guys that are just like super attractive don't have a lot to offer. Like, it's very rare, and I think that there's probably girls that are like, yeah, right! Like, there's some guys that are just like so hot, like so like got the muscles, got the smile, got the eyes, but like nothing else.
Totally. Girls like that too.
Exactly, and like that, I just know that because I like boys.
Really?
I tend to gravitate towards the male. Anyways, so that's kind of like a part of, I think, why girls try to go for the nice guy that may not be the cutest.
Oh, for sure. Because also, the guy who is uglier, you know, whatever, he has probably had to face a lot more like adversity and like actually be funny to attract girls, or like actually, you know, have some personality. Same thing with girls. It's like girls that are very, very attractive a lot of times have like no personality because everything's been handed to them. They just basically have never had to face rejection or anything. So it's just like, and there's insecurities there for sure, but they're a totally different breed. Like as far as from personal experience, I know nothing of that world because that's just, number one, I'm not a girl, but like number two, it's like, I don't know. It's just a totally different thing.
It is a totally different world. Yeah.
Yeah. So we were kind of talking about like you like teaching guys how to style themselves. That's actually really cool because like I was talking about earlier, also the market does not lend itself to helping males figure that out either. At all.
And it almost is like frowned upon for guys to want to. Yeah, and it's not. It's guys, it is sexy for you to dress cool. Like it's not sexy that you still wear your fraternity shirts. Like it's not cute anymore. Like you're an adult.
You heard it here first, ladies and germs.
Like
let's grow
take
up.
off your fraternity shirts.
Let's grow up and get a nice plain
shirt.
t-shirt.
Like just throw on something like, and it's just so simple. All you gotta do is like walk into like you look like Urban Outfitters today.
Me?
Yes, you look very.
I tried to have a pretty good outfit because I knew we were gonna talk about fashion, so I'm like,
I appreciate that.
No, because I was like, oh, Cameron's like into fashion. I need to like step my outfit up a little bit. Like, I can't just be walking in looking like a slob.
It's super simple, and that's what's cool.
Yeah, and actually, it's funny because I've actually gotten a lot more into like fashion. Yeah. It's like, it sounds weird for me to say that. Like, I even like hesitated. Like, I got into fashion. but like all fashion is like trying to look good, really.
Yeah, it is.
And like the other thing is kind of like being nice. It's like it doesn't really, you know, it takes more effort to look presentable, but it's almost like a respectful kind of thing. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm going to look my best. Like, I'm trying. And this is something that I think a lot of guys and a lot of just people in general don't think about, is like, on an attraction level, forget like a sexual thing, because obviously you want to like dress well to attract the opposite sex or whatever sex you're into. But, you know, there's a level of, if you see someone that's dressed like a slob, you assume they're a slob. They might be really nice. They might be a really cool person, but that first impression you can't like have again.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely.
And I think also a lot of guys are afraid of what their friends are going to say, or afraid of like what other people are going to think if all of a sudden they just totally switch up their style.
Exactly.
Like, all my friends wear fraternity t-shirts still, so like if I stop wearing those, like what are they're going to start making fun of me for like wearing other shirts, or like if I'm wearing like, you know, I don't know. And this is one thing that when I started kind of to care more about what I wore, because before I used to be into like what I wore, as far as like, I've always been into weird kind of stuff, like for example, having kind of weird shirts or whatever, weird t-shirts with like like kind of streetwear stuff that had like strange designs, or stuff that made people be like, what is that, or you know, and that's not always the most mature outfits to wear, you know, having like a weird like graphic t-shirt that has like a strange thing on it.
True, but there's also an appropriate place to wear that.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
It's and I think guys also have a hard time like depicting the difference between like putting together a really cool like, and once you get into it, it's hard to separate because you get excited. Because it's fun to dress up and make yourself feel good, and like that gives yourself self-esteem. Like, why wouldn't you want to feel good about yourself walking out the door? But a lot of guys think like, oh, well, if I change my wardrobe, it's got to be like on top of it all the time. Like, you can still look cool and have on like olive shorts, a gray shirt, and a denim jacket. Like, you can still look cool, but like like chill cool.
And like, and once you kind of plan your wardrobe around that, you can easily put together something. Like,
exactly.
So one thing that kind of was a catalyst for me was last summer I went to Spain for 3 months, and the summer before I went to Italy for 3 months. And so living in Europe for 6 months, the Europeans are way more fashion conscious than Americans as far as the men. And there's something to be said about American fashion in the sense that we're all really laid back and we just want to be comfortable kind of thing. And there's definitely a time and a place for that. But like you said, if you're wearing athletic shorts and Nike shoes and Nike socks and a polo t-shirt to go out downtown, it's just like, what are you doing, bro? Like,
exactly. And it's like, it's also, and guys don't think about this, I don't think as much as girls wish they thought about this, but like like, and for maybe Buckhead's not the best place to go out, and I obviously, this doesn't apply to me now, but we go to Buckhead to see like maybe potentially finding a husband out there, and like finding someone that you want to spend your life with, maybe not get married, but just be with someone and figure out, like, we're all getting older, like we want families and stuff like that, you know, like we don't want some guy in a fraternity t-shirt, a hat on backwards, like hair that he's decided that he hasn't wanted to cut for 4 years. Like, cut your fucking hair. Sorry. Come up to us with their little Nike socks pulled up to their fucking shins, their little like whatever outfit they call this. You really love
Nike socks, don't you?
I hate them so much because that's all
Step your sock game up, bros.
J. Crew has really cool socks.
I'm wearing some J. Crew socks right now.
Zach has so many pairs of just like cool patterns, and like they're easy to put on with like whatever outfit you have on, and people dig cool socks. Like, just put on a pair of cool socks.
Don't be... Novelty socks sometimes are really annoying. Like, if you're the guy that always has like a, like, you know at Urban Outfitters they sell like cartoon socks and stuff. It's like, don't always wear the socks with like
once in a while
pot leaves on it.
Okay. I was referring to socks with like
a cool pattern, or like a textured pattern, like a heathered kind of. Yes.
So cool.
I agree.
So cool.
Not flat black,
or like, you know, it also depends on what you're wearing on top. Like, if you, and now what's really cool too is wearing all one color, like having all black
Monochrome.
on or all white on or all, I mean, red is, we're getting there. We're getting
Yeah,
back to
I
the
feel like with
red.
all black, you can definitely do that all
I do
day.
all black all the time. I love all black. And then just because I love to do like pops of color, that's just, and I always like reflect that in the way I style people too. Like I always try to give them a pop of color just because it's fun. And
the other thing that I think people too is they try to be too matchy. Yeah. Like they've got like like let's say you have like some red and white shoes on, like some athletic shoes.
Yeah.
So then you're wearing like a red and white shirt and you have like a red and white hat on.
oh my God, that kills me.
It's like the DJ Khaled thing, like from back in the, like all the rappers used to do
All
that.
the
Like
rappers.
they would buy shoes and then buy an outfit to match with their shoes, but it was so
Yeah.
matchy that you end up just looking like a dork.
Yeah, and it looks really
Or like a jumpsuit, like
too much.
you're wearing like an Adidas tracksuit or something with like red with the white stripes, and you have the red and white stripe Adidas. It's like, bro.
That's so funny. Women are trying to bring that shit back, and it's just like, pick one or the other. Like, it's just...
But women have so many more options. That's the thing. It's like women can kind of, if you own it, you can kind of pull it off.
That's true. I mean, if
And
you
then-
want to wear it, do it. Like, I would never tell someone if they wanted to wear something not to wear it, because like fashion is all about expressing yourself and like wanting to look cool, like
My thing
in your
is,
eyes, I guess.
like you said, there's time and a place.
Yeah.
If you live in America, you can be better dressed than everyone else really easily.
So
So
easily.
you don't have to go all out
Exactly.
all the time.
Exactly.
Just elevate your style like a couple points above everyone else.
Yeah.
And you're gonna look better.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you live in like Redneckville and like everyone's wearing ridiculous stuff, maybe you just need to get out of that environment because it's like the worst style ever.
Because
and
obviously
just
you're not a
that-
part of that group anymore.
Exactly, and like that culture is.
That you started to think
But,
outside the box.
For example, like you're saying, it can be simple stuff. It just has to be like, this is well put together. Like
Yeah.
it's an outfit rather than just like a bunch of random pieces.
Exactly.
But to go back to my story, I lived in Europe and all this stuff, and
Yeah.
I had to pack really light because, you know, I couldn't bring everything.
Exactly.
And so I had a handful of shoes, handful of pants, handful of shirts. And so when I went to Italy, the family was really, really wealthy, and all the time they were wearing colored shirts. So I knew that I had to wear like polo shirts all the time. I was constantly had my shirt tucked in. I looked like a little prepster.
Yeah.
And I was wearing like boat shoes and all this stuff. But then when I went to Spain, it was a little more laid back. And I just remember feeling like such a dork because all my clothes like did not fit that great.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, I just always felt like everyone else was so much better dressed than me. And then I went to Amsterdam, and everyone in Amsterdam is like beautiful and like the coolest style. Everyone is so cool.
Yeah.
And I was just like, fuck, like when I go home, I need to like change my style. And so I pretty much did. Like I pretty much just like went to, I think I went to Top Man and just like got a
Top
bunch.
Man is the shit.
Top Man's great. Just got a bunch of like plain shirts that like fit well.
Yeah.
And like got some like more fitted pants and like some shorts that like these pants, I mean these shorts are like kind of skinny. And like at first when I put them on, I'm like, oh, this is weird. But when I look at old pictures of me wearing like these baggy weird shorts, I'm just like, ugh, that looks weird.
Yeah, and guys, you
just have to
should
get out of your
not be
comfort zone.
afraid to wear a little bit tighter pants. I mean, it's not that like you need to buy, because at Top Man they do have those spray-on, like ones
Yeah.
that look like they're painted on you. If that's your
I think
jam,
that
then
is
do
the
it.
gay
But
market.
yes, I would say that's a different demographic.
Yeah.
Because we're in Atlanta.
Yeah. And we're at Lenox Mall.
Lenox Mall.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Just saying how it is. Nothing
It
wrong
is.
with
That's no. And if that's your jam, totally do it. But like,
If you're into that.
guys, if you're like straight or whatever you are, I mean, don't be afraid to wear pants that fit. It doesn't look cute. Like
when you're swimming in your pants.
swimming in your pants. Girls want to see what you look like just like you men, not you specifically.
Yeah.
You in general would like to see what our bodies look like, so we wear stuff that accentuates the good parts of our bodies. If a girl has bigger boobs, she wears a low-cut shirt. If a girl's got a bigger butt, she wears a tighter skirt. Whatever it is, we're trying to get you to notice us. Do the same. Just do the same.
Totally.
Like, it's just getting into a time where everybody needs to be responsible for what they want.
Totally. And like I think also, for guys out there, we've all known, like, there's sometimes the outfit makes the girl like 10 times hotter, you know? It's like there's sometimes when a girl's just wearing an outfit and you don't even really know what it is about it, but you're just like, like literally it makes you like bite your lip and you're just like, damn.
Okay, wait, pause. Can you tell me what kind of outfit that is?
It varies. So sometimes it could be like a casual thing where they're just like, it looks kind of effortless. They might be wearing like yoga pants and like, I don't know. Like I can't.
Right,
and then sometimes like when you're going out or something, it might be like just, like you said, like a tight skirt and like, I don't know. Like it's hard to even picture because like I said, girls have so many options that it's really possible to be in your own lane with your own style and be like, oh, this is the hippie chick. This is the more preppy chick. This is one thing I will say. If you're wearing that like Lily Pulitzer shit.
Fuck that shit.
No, that is the biggest boner kill of all time.
Also, that means you're 13, so
whoa,
nobody even likes that shit anymore.
Shots fired.
Guys.
But on the real, if you're wearing like, I get it if it's Easter, but like
not even then, guys.
But like on the real,
not even
ladies, if you're wearing Lily Pulitzer, nah. But anyways,
go home.
I digress. But
just curiosity, because girls do spend a lot of time on their outfits.
Yeah, and I know there's girls listening to this too. Like, okay, so obviously, I think also a lot of times what makes it attractive is just that it looks put together. Like it looks like it was intentional of how you
are looking.
Wore this, and it doesn't mean matchy. It doesn't mean, it doesn't mean a lot of things. But like I said, it could be something as casual, where you're wearing like some yoga pants and like a t-shirt or whatever. But if it just like looks good, it looks good.
Right.
And that's the whole thing with like the fit of it. It's like it's gotta like.
It's just gotta look good.
Exactly.
Cool.
And, like,
okay.
And also.
Curious.
Yeah. Like I said, sometimes it's hard to even put a finger on it for girls because there are so many different.
And
options. I will say another thing that I don't like is those dumb fur vests. I hate those.
Guys really are not a fan of those.
I fucking hate those. It looks like you're wearing a dead cat.
Yeah, I think I wore a fur vest one time in middle school because it was cool. Or maybe it was high school.
No, but you know the ones I'm talking about that are like, they're not as trendy right now, but they were like a couple years ago. They were kind of like long fur.
I definitely had one of those.
And it was really gross. Except it wasn't
furry, it was like soft. It looked like, it wasn't, but it looked like sheep. I got it from TJ Maxx, so obviously it wasn't sheep.
Yeah.
But it was soft like that, but I wore it with an all black outfit, so it sort of looked cool back then.
Yeah.
I gave it
Here's
to
the thing. I have seen it gotten pulled off before a couple times. I'm like, okay, I'll give you a pass. But like 99% of the time, I'm like,
just doesn't look good.
No. And a lot of the times it does kind of look like fake fur, so I don't even want to touch it. Like I'm like, ugh.
Synthetic.
I'm gonna like be getting hair all over me or something.
Right. That's true.
Yeah. But anyways, but the point I was saying with like there's some outfits where guys are just like, oh my gosh, wow.
Yeah.
There's outfits for guys that girls do that too, for sure.
If they try. I mean, it's very slim picking out there.
Yeah, but when you see it, like I said, it's like you don't have to go like so all out. You don't have to wear a tuxedo every day because that doesn't make sense. You look like a dweeb.
Nobody wants you to wear a tuxedo all day.
But you can elevate your style where it's like, okay, you put a little more thought into it. Cool.
Yes.
Like you're dressing like cooler.
Exactly. And it's cool to want to dress cool. Like, call me, guys. I'll style you.
Yeah, for real. Seriously. And that's another misconception I think also is that dressing cool costs a lot of money.
It doesn't. It doesn't have to.
It totally doesn't. This outfit that I'm wearing probably cost, including the shoes, like $100.
That's really like, and people are like, I don't have $100 to spend on clothes, and it's like, okay,
the shoes are like $65.
But shoes you wear all the time, jackets you wear people are just gonna have to get used to.
For people, no one can see what I'm wearing right now either. I'm wearing Adidas Stan Smith shoes. They're like $65. I'm wearing some shorts from like Forever 21 that were like $15 or $20.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a tank top from PacSun that was like $20, and I'm wearing a denim like shirt jacket that was from Forever 21 that was like $20.
Yeah, Forever 21 is the best.
Yeah, and people are afraid to go in there too because they're like, that's a girl store. I don't even want to go in there. And it's like, you can find cool stuff there for sure.
They have cool stuff.
And like definitely people, you know, when I started kind of, like I said, so I came back from Europe and I started like changing my whole wardrobe.
Yeah.
And definitely I got some like comments from like my family and stuff. And I definitely did come back from shopping sometimes with some pretty stuff that was really out of my comfort zone, and I'm like, I'm just gonna try it, and it definitely didn't work, and I took it back. Right. But that's just all part of trying it, you know.
You're right.
Like I bought this sweater at H&M that was like
questionable.
Yeah, it was really gay.
Like, sometimes it's just not.
I wore it to work, and I even knew. I was like, this is questionable. I already knew. Like I was like, this is not right. I'm just gonna try it. And everyone at work was like, whose sweater is this? And I was like, it's mine. And they laughed at me and they thought I was joking. Like they were like, no, it's a girl's. And I'm like, no, it's my sweater. And they're like,
nope, I bought this sweater.
Yeah, it was really bad.
That's so funny.
Yeah, and then I just made it a running joke for the rest of the day that I was wearing a gay sweater. Yeah, it was really funny. Not gay in a bad way. It just really looked like I was trying to be
gay,
attracting men.
Right, and that's not a bad.
Like that's what it looked like I was trying to do. Women were not being turned on by my jacket. It was men were.
Very man-like.
Yeah, but that's the thing is like you said, it's all about right now just kind of being simple.
Yeah.
You don't have to spend tons of money on an outfit or whatever.
No.
What do you think is the biggest misconception for guys as far as fashion? Because like you said, you like teaching them about like what to do and all that.
I think they all are scared of the word fashion. Like you said you were like, fashion. Like it's not gay to say the word fashion. Fashion is not like a gay thing to say.
But lots of gay men are super into fashion. So you just associate it.
Yeah, and that's because gay people are cool and they know what cool is, and they're not afraid to be cool and be themselves. And some guys are afraid to do that because they don't know what repercussions are going to come with that. And people who are really just happy with themselves are just gonna be able to be more adapted to it, and guys aren't, because they are afraid of being like, oh well, what are my friends gonna say, like are they gonna point their fingers and like call me, because straight guys really don't want to be called gay. Like they really don't want to. It's not like it's a bad thing, like it's just
because they're secretly afraid they're gay.
Because they're secretly afraid.
They're secretly afraid that there's a tiny bit of gay.
Yeah, and who gives a shit? Everybody's a little gay, right?
That's so funny, though. I feel like it's totally true. And also, I think another thing is there's that stereotype of girls taking forever to pick out their outfits.
Yes.
And, like, girls spend so much time thinking about my outfit. Bro, I'm just a simple guy. I'm just going to throw on a t-shirt and some Nike shorts. My girl still likes me. I don't need to impress, you know?
Yeah, the same hat I've had since high school. Like,
yeah, bro.
Totally. Like, sweat stains, not even a good, not a bad thing.
Not a big deal. It shows character.
Shows character! I was going to say
shows character, bro. It shows that I appreciate my items. I hang on to stuff. Yeah, it shows I'm committed.
It's not cool to wear hats with sweat stains on them, so throw them away.
Another one of my biggest pet peeves is when guys wear super dirty shoes.
Yeah, I'm not good at cleaning my shoes.
I'm obsessed with shoes. It's the lamest thing I'll say on this podcast, but I love shoes a lot. Yeah. And I have a lot of shoes, but not like a ridiculous amount. Like I probably have I feel like for a guy saying you have 10 pairs of shoes is kind of a lot, but not for a girl, not really. But
I have so many pairs of shoes.
Yeah, exactly. Girls have tons of shoes. But for guys, it's like I've got my one pair of like working out shoes, and maybe have like one pair of dress shoes that don't fit me anymore from like middle school
that I still
wear, and then I have a pair of Sperry's that I bust out when I have to go to church on Easter.
Yeah, there you go. That's not 10 pairs. That's like
No, I'm saying that's what a lot of guys have.
What a lot of guys have.
I have a lot more because I like shoes, but
yeah. Zach's the same way. Zach is my boyfriend, by the way. I've mentioned him plenty of times, and I haven't said who he is. He is my boyfriend, Zach.
Yes, and he's just my friend. He's not my boyfriend.
No, he's just, well, we'll see.
Whoa.
I get a little worried when you guys are together.
Like I said, everyone's a little gay. No, but
I told you.
That's so funny. No, but so you said the biggest misconception is a lot of times that guys just like
there aren't. Well, I guess
they think it's gay.
That, and then they're just they're afraid to go for it. I think they're afraid to like it.
What is your opinion on like skinny jeans?
If they're for the right person, I think that for sure you should wear them. But like, don't like, let's be realistic, guys. If you don't have skinny legs, don't wear skinny jeans. Like,
I think a lot of times
so
when
easy.
when people associate the skinny jeans with the spray-ons, like they don't have to be skin tight. Skinny jeans for me, and a lot of times people are like, oh, I want like slim. I wear like slim cut. But the problem that I have with slim cut is that the taper around your ankle is always huge, and you can't see your shoes, and it looks really bad.
Yeah.
And you've got all this extra like stuff
Shit
flapping around at the bottom.
Uh-huh.
If you can get some pants that have like a nice like tapered ankle, that's good.
Yeah.
Because it like shows off your shoes. I love shoes, so like, and if you have cool socks, it'll show off your socks. Like,
socks.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think that's my biggest thing that I see way too much is guys are afraid to wear tighter pants.
Yeah.
And there's definitely a reason for that, because there's lots of guys that look really, really lame with wearing, and even big guys, it's like you can still wear some tighter pants. They don't have to suffocate your nuts.
No,
but, like,
they and you know the good, and I always like, guys are always like, well, what brand should I buy? Like, what's gonna, and I hate to like always refer to bonobos, but they really have good stuff. Like, it fits you. It's a little bit more expensive, but that way, I mean, you can even just go into the guide shops, and which is what they call their stores, and see what size you are and everything. And even if you want to go and find something that's a little bit cheaper, I mean, they're not crazy expensive, but it's good quality stuff. So it is like like a regular, like a dress shirt is like $85.
Yeah.
Which, like,
this is my recommendation, because like I said, when I kind of tried to get into the like more into fashion, I was trying to like figure out what I needed, because I think a lot of times people are just overwhelmed because they're like, I need to redo everything, and this is going to be so expensive.
Yeah.
And this is a recommendation that I got from this YouTube guy named Ryan McGinn. He's really interesting.
Yeah.
He has a whole YouTube channel that's dedicated to men's style, but his philosophy is basically, if you're trying to switch up your style and try something completely new, buy a cheap option first. Like, go to a fast fashion store like H&M, Zara, Forever 21.
Zara is a good place for guys.
Zara's really good.
Yeah.
And buy the low quality version of whatever look you're trying to achieve, so you can kind of get used to the style and see if you actually want, if that's something you actually want to continue wearing.
Yeah.
Then maybe next season, or when the shirt rips, or when you wash it so many times and it shrinks or whatever, then you elevate and you go bonobos, or you go J. Crew, or you go
100%.
whatever else. And you invest the money into a piece that's going to like last you a long time.
Yeah, and like the good thing about bonobo stuff is that it does last a long time. Like, when I worked there, guys would come in and they'd been like, well, the last time I bought a pair of your chinos was in 2007 and I need a new pair. I'm like, it's been since 2007 that you've bought a new pair. They're like, well, yeah, they've just lasted this long. And I'm like,
that's awesome.
That's insane that you have that story to tell about these pants. So it's worth it, guys, to invest the money in the good stuff. Like, I totally agree with you. Like, buy the shitty stuff from Forever 20. I mean, it looks good for a little while.
It looks good for a little while, exactly.
It's not going to last you as long as you want it to, but you're getting what you pay for.
Exactly, but yeah, exactly. You're getting what you pay for, and then if you like it, then when it wears out, you know, okay, cool, at least I like this style of thing. Now I'm going to like buy something that I'm going to keep around for a long time.
Exactly, and girls should follow that too. Girls don't follow that at all, because I think one thing is, Forever 21 is my go-to. If I look at my closet, I'm like, well, fuck, I don't know what to wear. Like, girls are always like, we're going to Buckhead tonight. Like, we're going to dress so cute. And I'm like, I've worn all my cute outfits already. Like, I can't. And God forbid you repeat an outfit on Instagram.
Oh,
you know?
that's another thing is Instagram. You can't repeat outfits.
No, because people will call you out on that already. Ugh.
What's the deal with that? Why can't you repeat outfits? I repeat outfits all the damn time.
I think because, for me, as like a fashion girl, I want to give different, like, because I have a bunch of different styles. I have a girly style that I don't bring out a lot, but I have it. And then I have like my casual look, which is really usually what I do, especially when I go to Buckhead.
Oh, well, I was gonna say what you're wearing right now is
pretty
super
casual. Because I'm chilling and I don't really, it's so cute, but whatever. And this is Zach's shirt. I've been wearing his shirts lately. I'm just like really laid back with my style sometimes, but then sometimes I also like really bring the heat. Like, I just bought pink thigh-high boots that I am.
Those are some heaters.
Yeah, that I'm dying to wear, and just like
Pink thigh-high boots. That is a statement.
Literally pastel pink, like satin. They're adorable.
Wow.
People are going to be like, what the fuck? But I love them, so I'm excited.
That's a heater right there.
It is. It'll be a talker.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
That's another thing. I think guys don't want to bring attention to themselves. They're like, that's the girl thing.
Yeah.
Another thing so if guys are into fashion, a lot of times they're into this whole like streetwear culture where they're buying like $500 sneakers that don't even look cool, but there's hype around them, so they just spend all the money.
Well, even at this point, Adidas are starting to get like annoying. Like
everyone's wearing them.
The superstar. Like they have so many different versions of shoes. Like buy the different version.
The one pair that so like everyone's wearing Stan Smiths now, which is kind of annoying because like
I like the ones that you have.
These ones are sweet because they have the gum sole, which most people do not have, and it's actually really hard to find these ones.
Really?
Yeah, you can still find them online, and I have seen them at a couple other places, but they only have 2 colors. Like they have this gray one, the gray little tab in the back, and they have an orange tab in the back too, and it has orange on the tongue.
Oh,
but
cool.
I really like these because they literally go with everything. Yeah. They like kind of they're a step above like normal sneakers. And since it's the gum sole, the normal Stan Smiths have a white sole and they get dirty really fast.
Yeah.
And the gum sole, they can get dirty and look totally fine. I've never cleaned these soles like pretty much ever, and they look fine. But if they were the white soled ones, they would look so dirty on the bottom.
Right, and especially because I've been wearing my Adidas downtown lately, so they're so fucking dirty.
Yeah,
like,
they just get beat.
So gross, but I'm tired of wearing heels in Buckhead. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah. And the other thing is with Adidas, like in the Superstar, there's a lot of other models. Like you said, the one that I know that is pretty cool that people are sleeping on is the Adidas Gazelle. The Gazelle is really cool.
Those too.
And the Iniki runners, those are super cool.
I don't know if I know
There's a classic version. They just came out with a boost version that has like a boost sole. The only problem with the boost sole is that it's white and it gets dirty really easily. But boost is life. Apparently, I don't have any boost shoes, but everyone's obsessed with boost.
Boost is life. I like that.
Everyone's obsessed with boost right now.
If I can just give one piece of advice for shoes for men is to not wear Nike workout shoes. Unless you're working out. Please.
Shots fired.
Please, please, please. That's just my one
request.
Shots fired. Please.
Another thing that's great that I've realized is like leather sneakers like this are awesome because they're cool. They're like a step above the normal thing. And like cloth sneakers get dirty really easily, and leather, you can literally just like wipe it down with like a wet cloth and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
And it's just like, I think it all circles back to fashion with men and women is just like feeling good about yourself. Like,
totally.
Mostly do it to make you feel good when you look in the mirror. You're like, this is a really cool outfit. I want to put it on my Snapchat. Like that's why people dress up, because they're like, look how cool I look. I want to show you how cool I look because I think I look really cool. And
it's hard also in the South because there's no, like I feel like this outfit is more, like you said, Urban Outfitters or like PacSun or like LA kind of vibes for sure.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm just more of that type of person, I guess.
That's my mindset.
I've never really felt like at home in the South necessarily. Like, oh yeah, let's go drink out of mason jars.
I'm drinking out of a mason jar.
She's drinking out of a mason jar right now. But like, if only
it was like moonshine.
Oh, that'd be perfect.
That would be so bad.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, my mouth.
You'd be dying.
My mouth just cringed.
Yeah, but there's some really good moonshine though. Like if it sits long enough, that it doesn't taste good.
Sorry.
My uncle made this kind that was called apple pie, and you leave it for like months, and it has like cinnamon sticks and all this stuff in it.
Oh.
And it literally, like you take like one shot and you're drunk, and it tastes like apple pie. It's so good.
Ooh.
Yeah, and you mix it with Everclear, so it's literally like 100% alcohol, and it tastes amazing.
Everclear was my high school. We drink Everclear.
It's dangerous
all
stuff,
the time.
Kids. Don't do it.
Punch Punch? Did you ever have Punch Punch?
My
Too many times.
friend, I think it was either my friend or my uncle, I can't remember who this was that was telling me this story, but someone made Hunch Punch with Everclear, and they were like, oh yeah, you just mix Kool-Aid with alcohol. And what they did, instead of making Kool-Aid and then mixing it in, they literally just poured the Kool-Aid packets into the Everclear.
Yeah.
So there wasn't any water to water it down.
Literally just alcohol.
It was just literally Kool-Aid, fruit, and Everclear. And they stirred it with their arms in this giant tub.
Ew!
And it dyed their whole arm red because they were mixing Kool-Aid. Like, Kool-Aid will dye your hair. It will also dye your skin. So they were mixing this giant vat of Hunch Punch in this tub, mixing it with their forearms. And their arms were completely dyed red up to their elbows. Can't remember who told me that story. If it was you. Sorry, I didn't give you credit for the story. But funny stuff.
That's crazy.
But, yeah.
I've done that before. I mixed Crystal Light with vodka, and I was out. I was gone.
Yeah, because you're just drinking straight alcohol.
I also hadn't
eaten
yet.
Yeah, no, that's a dangerous thing. But anyways, to go back to like fashion stuff.
Yeah.
The Southern deal is like everyone dresses so proper and preppy, and like let's wear Sperry's and have a polo shirt and wear some like the whole like Southern Tide kind of look and all that. And
bow
like
ties. Bow ties are cool.
Bow ties are cool in their own way. I think they're kind of overplayed now a little bit. Like they used to be cool because you had to be really unique to wear one, and now it's just like fat dudes with beards that think they're cool.
Yeah, or
I just generalized people with bow ties so hard, but
you did. And
I
all
feel
the
like
skinny
it's like
people that wear bow ties are pissed at you right now.
Well, whatever. I have a bow tie. I never wear it. But anyways, I don't really wear ties ever. But yeah, to go back to like the thing I was talking about, you know, I kind of started slowly redoing my wardrobe and look and blah, blah, blah. And Ryan McGinn actually, like, if you're a dude out there and you want to like elevate your style, definitely follow Ryan because he has lots of really good practical advice about like style and stuff. Because his philosophy is he has this... He kind of like over the years has like evolved a little bit. Like I've watched some of his older videos and I'm kind of not really into the style that he was like pushing. But one thing that he sells a lot of like ebooks and products, and he like is also will like style you if you pay him and stuff like that. But anyways, and you can join his club where he like sends you outfits and stuff like that.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
I don't do any of that, but like I'm part of his Facebook group, so like I see a bunch of stuff that he posts and I watch his YouTube channel. But he always has talked about like the three main looks that girls are attracted to, which is hipster, Wall Street, and bad boy. Those are like the three looks. And like when I say those words, you can kind of envision it. Like hipster, you're thinking, you know, kind of a little bit wacky stuff, maybe
long hair,
beard, maybe like a man
glasses.
bun. Yeah, and then, you know, Wall Street, you're thinking like really like fitted suits, you know.
Those are my favorite.
Yeah, like a really nice fitted suit with like double monks or something.
Yes.
And like
pocket square.
Yeah. And then you've got bad boy, which is like some badass boots, maybe like a leather jacket, you know, like the cool biker joggers, kind of thing. Like, maybe even a little bit like streetwear kind of stuff thrown in. And over the years, he's always been like pushing those three. He's kind of like pick which one your lane is and like go with that. And then recently he like came out with this revolutionary idea. But it's basically combining all three of them into one look that he calls street sharp. And I thought it was like genius because you basically try to incorporate a piece of each type of style into your outfit and it works. Yeah. So like if you're trying to be casual, instead of wearing like normal sneakers, wear some like leather sneakers. Instead of just wearing like a t-shirt, like what I'm doing right now is, you know, I'm wearing like a long sleeve shirt and it's super hot out. I'm wearing like a jacket. People are like, what the heck? But I'm wearing a tank top underneath. So my sleeves, I don't have any sleeves on under here.
Right.
So, and then I'm wearing a distressed denim like light shacket. It's not really a
shacket.
It's not a jacket, but it's not a shirt. It's like a shacket. And it's like distressed, so there's holes all over it, so I'm like it's breathable. So I'm kind of getting like the hipster stuff there. And then I'm also wearing some like kind of preppy, like tighter like shorts. So like you kind of like combine all three. I'm not really wearing anything bad boy, I guess. Maybe the tank top, I don't know.
But if it was just the tank top.
Maybe,
But then I would be very upset if you were
it's just
wearing
douchey.
a tank top.
See, that's the problem is guys just want to wear tank tops in public. And there's a time and a place for a tank top, and that is the beach or the pool. And barely even.
And then you take it off.
Yep.
Like, I don't even want to see you in it unless it's what you're wearing down to the beach.
Yeah.
In which case, just take off your shirt. I hate tank tops.
Yeah, and so I've always felt like tank tops are like douchey a little bit.
They're a layering piece. That's what they're good for.
Yeah, totally. Because you can layer it and it's not weird. And if you get super hot, heaven forbid, you can take it off if you want to, the outer layer. Like if you're getting really sweaty, Like if you get into your hot car and you're just like, oh my gosh, you can take it off and then you're wearing a tank top.
Exactly. In your car, that's fine. Don't walk out.
Yeah, because that's the other thing is people are always like, well, like layering is key, blah, blah, blah. But like how the heck am I supposed to layer when I live in Georgia in the summer?
Exactly. Just like that. Just the way you did it.
There we go. Boom.
Done.
But I was going to say something else about guys and they don't want to wear stuff. But yeah, that's basically, we've kind of covered a lot of it. But is there anything that you want to say to guys right now? Like guys that are dressing terribly, or guys that like maybe they're realizing over the course of this conversation that they do dress badly, or maybe they have been thinking about it for a while but they don't know where to start, or like what's your practical?
Well, guys, don't be afraid to go for it. I think a lot of guys too, I meet a lot of guys and I'm like, let me style you. And they're so intimidated by the fact that a girl is styling them. Like, a little tough love, swallow your pride. Like,
because they would never think about styling a girl. Even though they know what they like, if they see a girl with a good outfit, they're like, I don't know, kind of like I was. I'm like, I don't know, it's just really good. You look sexy, I don't know. Like, but
look good.
Yeah, but girls, they think about that a lot, so.
Yeah. I think that you need to be open to letting anybody style you. If you have any friends that want to do it, let them do it, because it's only gonna improve your, you know, whatever.
Or if your girlfriend wants to style you.
Exactly. Let her
let
do
them
it.
do it.
Let her do it. And if you know what, if
you gotta lay down the law a little bit sometimes, though. There might be some
tough love.
Yeah.
Fashion does come with a lot of tough love, because some, like the street style thing, like a lot of guys can't pull it off. But we can make a version of that. Like, you don't have to be stuck in a certain category. You don't have to be a hipster. You don't have to be a Wall Street guy. You don't have to be street style. You can be all of those things. Just don't be afraid to do it. And if you need help, ask me. I'm an open book. I love helping. I will, even if you don't want to literally go shopping, just ask me questions.
Another thing that really
I can help you.
Yeah, totally. Another thing that really helps me too is like literally go on like Pinterest or go on Google Images and
guys,
like type in like celebrity male outfits or something, and just like look at what celebrities are wearing out in public.
It's so easy.
Not because you want to just like worship these celebrities, but because they literally have someone whose full-time job it is to style them.
Yeah.
And so if you can look at their outfits like you did with Lizzie McGuire.
Yeah.
Pause it, write down literally what they're wearing, and then go to Zara, H&M, Forever 21, whatever. Literally, you can copy their style for very cheap.
Exactly. You'll be able to find exactly what you're looking for. Like,
maybe the fit won't be exactly right. Maybe, you know, the quality's not going to be exactly there, but you can get used to that.
Yeah, and it's still like effortless, and well, it's effortless when you put a lot of effort into it. You kind of have to put a lot of
up
effort
front
into it.
You do.
Yeah.
But once you have a wardrobe that basically it's like don't put yourself into a dilemma where you don't have anything to wear, where like don't put yourself into a dilemma where you have clothes that you don't wear anymore. Just get rid of them. Like if you have like a bunch of shirts that you know you're not going to wear anymore, don't keep them around.
Exactly.
And then put all the stuff that you're going to wear up front, because you know what you're going to wear every day. Then you can kind of just throw it together.
And lastly, if anything, just be confident in what you are wearing. Like, you can change your wardrobe and still walk around kind of like, I don't know if everybody's going to like what I'm wearing, but you really have to own it. And like, that's going to be what makes it all come together.
And you have to be ready for people to say things, make comments. Because here's the thing, everyone's insecure, especially with guys. Like, if your friend's like, bro, why are you wearing that, dude?
Yeah.
You know, what? That's not you, bro, or whatever. Because in the back of their mind, they're thinking, oh shit, like, Andrew looks cool in that, and like, I look like a dweeb. Like, people don't want you to be elevated above them. They want you to stay at the same level as them. You know, people want you to be successful, but not more successful than them.
Exactly. And that's also how you can tell if it's a true friend. Like, if they think like, oh man, like you look gay, like you look dumb, like what are you trying to do? You know, obviously that's a person that doesn't want you to be the best version of you. But if you have a friend that's like, dude, you look fucking cool, like, how do you look like that? Like, show me how to look like that. Or even a friend that's honest, that's like, dude, that's not my style, but like, you rock it. Like, those are the type of people that people need to be surrounding themselves with.
I feel like a lot of people, though, they will say stuff like that, like, that's not my style, I could never wear that.
Right.
They totally could.
They could, yeah, and that's a
but
lot of the
they're
time.
too afraid to
they
jump out
think,
of their comfort zone.
Yes. If you
and they've been
think
wearing
that,
the same
just do
clothes
it.
since high school or whatever.
Exactly.
That was one thing with my brother. Like, my brother, at first, when I started, like, wearing, like, different stuff, he'd be like, bro, why are you wearing that, bro? You're such a hipster, bro. He was always saying that.
Bro.
Like, oh, Mr. Hip. Oh, look at Mr. Hipster over here.
They do, guys.
But
make
now
those
he's, like,
comments.
started to kind of copy me a little bit and, like, realize, like, oh, snap, like, maybe some of this, you know, whatever. But one thing, I think this is a good place to kind of, like, wrap things up. But one thing that we were talking about earlier that we didn't actually, like, really get to talk about was the whole freaking out over celebrity thing.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to talk about that for a second because that's
sure.
a thing that I think about a lot.
Yeah.
And so you were kind of saying, like, how there's people that want to be in this industry just so they can meet celebrities and whatever.
Yeah.
And there's people that, for example, like, if they saw Justin Bieber, they would literally freak out, scream, cry, and all this stuff. What do you think why do you think that fangirling like that is such a thing? Because guys don't do that.
No, guys don't. You know what? The only time I've ever seen a guy do that is for Beyonce. And I even freaked out a little bit. I was at a taping for Lip Sync Battle, the Channing Tatum's Lip Sync Battle, and Beyonce came out. And I've never been, like, a huge Beyonce fan. Like, people are like, she's the queen.
Queen bee, bitch, shut the fuck up. She is number one.
I think that she has a lot of really catchy songs. Like, I like her. I don't
She's
hate her
overrated.
by any chance.
I'll say it.
She's really gorgeous in person, and, like, the whole room when she walked out was like people were, like, literally crying, and I was like, this is cool, like, this is Beyonce, but, like, why are you crying? Like, I don't understand. I think I freaked out a little bit when Channing Tatum came on because I've loved him for a long time, and I could see the emotion, like, getting to, like, an emotional state, being like, it's him. I think a lot of people just worship these people, and, like, really, these people, I think, really have issues.
Do they want to be like them?
I think that, and a lot of thing with Justin Bieber is, like, some of these girls have been like, you've gotten me through some really hard times, like, but I want to think, like, you're 13, like, what kind of hard times are you having? But also, I don't want to be, like, ignorant to people who are having, like, a hard time in life. I don't know, man. I don't know how to explain it. It's
I mean,
crazy.
I think today's 13-year-olds have a lot more problems than, you know, the 13-year-olds that didn't have phones and Instagram and all that kind of stuff.
I forget about that. Yeah, you're
like,
right.
kids are growing up way faster.
They are.
And they're being influenced by so many other things that we weren't necessarily influenced by when we were that young.
That's so true.
So you have to think about that. But on the other hand, there's also girls that are our age that would cry if they saw Justin Bieber too.
That's true.
And that scares me on a very deep level. Here's my kind of weird 2 cents on this. So, like, I don't try to worship anybody. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not the type of person that's, like, gonna be obsessed with someone, I guess, because I've come to this weird realization, not weird, but this realization that, you know, everyone's human. Yeah. And yes, this person is more talented and more famous than me, but at the end of the day, they're probably not much more, like, smarter than me. They probably
they're definitely not
probably
smarter
won't
than you.
be making any more, like, better decisions than me. You know,
that's
like,
true.
And that's the kind of thing where you have to think about. This is why traveling helped change my life so much, because when you go to a different country, things are just different. The culture is different. Like, and there's no really rhyme or reason of why. It's just that that's the way things have always been, and that's how they're going to be done. Yeah. So, for example, like, at the dinner table in Italy, it was inappropriate to put your hands in your lap. You're supposed to have your hands on the table. Oh. And in America, it's the exact opposite. Why? I don't know. You could explain different reasons. In America, it's rude because your hands are dirty and you want to keep them out of sight. Yeah. If you're not using them, just keep them in your lap. Yeah. In Italy, it was, I think the reason why is because it was customary of respect, like, I'm not trying to, like, hide anything from you. I'm not holding a weapon. My hand, like, kind of like my hands are exposed. They're on the table. Yeah. I'm engaged. Like, I'm, you know. So, like, literally the little kids that I was an au pair for, so I was like a nanny in Spain and in Italy, they would put their hands in their lap and their dad would literally grab their hand and put it on the table. And I it was the weirdest thing because literally like the first night that I was there that happened and I was just so confused.
Right.
Because my dad would literally do the exact opposite. He would grab my hand on my table.
Elbows on the table?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Elbows were still rude, but hands. Like you shouldn't have your hands in your lap. They're supposed to be like on the table, like resting on the table.
Crazy.
And so I had to think like, I can understand the logic in both of those things. Kind of like when we were talking about our parents, like your parents came to a consensus, so you just thought that was the right thing. But if your parents were disagreeing, you kind of have this like, oh, maybe they're both kind of right, you know?
Right, maybe they don't have to be.
When I traveled, I realized like, why do Americans dress like this? Why do we do things like this? And you start to question like, oh, someone in history decided out of their own opinion that they were going to enforce this.
Yeah.
That person was no smarter than me or you or I.
Right.
But because that's just how things have done and we're creatures of habit and we follow what everyone else does, that's just the way things are.
True.
And so, like, with celebrities, those people are just people, no smarter than you or I.
Right.
But people worship them because they either have this really amazing talent or whatever.
Yeah.
And I kind of talked about this with Cece on his podcast.
Yeah.
So that one will be out by the time that people are listening to this. But a lot of times these artists aren't even, they're just the face behind a giant production.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not
you don't
even
know who they are.
Exactly. Like Justin Bieber doesn't write his own songs. He has a songwriter. He doesn't make his own.
Drake doesn't write his own songs. That was a huge thing.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with having a songwriter as long as you own up to that and are fully transparent with that. That's where I have a problem.
Yeah.
And so like I have a lot more respect for an artist that's making their own graphics, that's making, you know, and I understand that you can't do everything.
No.
But for example, there's artists like deadmau5 that like literally he makes all of his graphics for his stage production stuff. He makes all of his album covers on his own.
Yeah.
He makes all the music on his own. He doesn't have people helping him. Like the whole thing is his.
Yeah.
And so I think when people freak out over Justin Bieber, it's like, dude, he's just a kid that like sings good and knows how to like dance.
Yeah.
Like he's not that crazy.
No.
He's hot, but he's not like.
Well, that's how a lot of the celebrities are. Like they
have nothing to really offer to the table besides the fact that they can sing well and that they're attractive, that they've been blessed with
good looks and a great voice. Yep, that's exactly. It's just a fake world that people buy into, and I'm guilty of it. Like I love Kylie Jenner. Like I think she's awesome. Like I think that she has great makeup. I think that she does really cool photo shoots. I think that she's just as fake as all of her sisters. Like I'm not in a reality where I think that she's actually looks authentic, the way that she looks.
Oh yeah.
Because I've been watching the Kardashians for a long time since they've been on.
And if you look at old pictures and you look at new pictures, it's not the same girl.
A lot has changed there.
That's a little more than puberty, I'd say.
It is a lot more than puberty, but I think that.
But the gross thing for me is like that becomes the standard, and so like everyone's trying to copy that look of like super crazy contoured faces and like putting lipstick like above your lips and like wearing like these crazy eyebrows that like fade in the middle. Like no. Fucking
there
stop!
You go, girls.
You look fake.
There you go,
it's
girls.
It's not attractive.
Yeah, it's a lot of work and a lot of money to put into all that
and
stuff.
It's gross.
It's gross.
It's gross for me.
It's gross.
You should listen to my podcast with my friend Remy. At the end, like in the last like little bit, we talked about how she wears makeup occasionally, but she hasn't worn makeup or done her hair in 2 years.
I think I started to listen to that podcast, and then I had to go.
It's really, really good. But she like mentions, we talked about it a decent bit, and she was talking about how like now when she wears makeup, she literally feels like uglier than she does when she doesn't.
It feels heavy. It feels really heavy. Mm-hmm. Just because, especially now that it's summertime, like I don't like doing anything to my face or hair. Mm-hmm.
That's good. Yeah, I appreciate that. But anyways, the point that I was gonna make is, with the celebrity thing, I think also people don't even know what to do. They just see someone and they just like freak out and they're just like, it's that person. It's that person that everyone knows. And it's like, and for example, this actually happened. I have like kind of a weird taste of this where, do you know who the DJ Marshmello is?
Yeah.
So he wears this like marshmallow helmet and for a while no one knew who he was.
Yeah.
Even though now it's pretty obvious it's this guy named Chris Comstock. But anyways.
Okay.
I was a super diehard Marshmello fan from the beginning, And I kind of knew that from the beginning, and now people listening to this are going to be like shocked, but I don't like him anymore at all because of lots of reasons. We can talk about that later. Anyway.
Yeah.
But I went to this music festival last year, and I dressed up as Marshmallow, and I had a marshmallow head.
I saw your picture.
And the craziest thing was, I swear, I'm not lying, so many people thought I was actually him.
Yeah.
And so, like, for a little bit, I got kind of like a taste of what it was like to be somewhat famous because people were literally like lining up and chasing me to take pictures.
That's insane.
I had like multiple girls that were like trying to get my number and flirt with me because they were trying to get money or whatever.
Yeah.
So many people were like, oh, my boyfriend's a producer. You should really check out his SoundCloud. He's really good. Like, all this stuff. And, like,
He's a producer.
Oh, my God. You have to listen to my boyfriend. He's so good. He's been making music for, like, 3 months. He just bought a MacBook. He's, like, so good. You have to listen to his music.
Oh, my God.
He's, like, wow. He's really good.
Your
you have to meet him.
imitation of girls at festivals is really scary accurate.
It's pretty spot on.
It is.
But there was this one girl that was like, can I take off your mask and kiss you? And I'm like, no, I can't let anyone know who I am.
Good save.
But it was so funny because also people thought that I was actually him, and they ripped off my mask, like thinking they were exposing the guy. Oh my gosh, it's him. And I'm kind of like, great job, jackass. Thanks for ripping off the thing.
Yeah, like I'm
this normal kid.
And
whatever.
they're all like, oh.
But at the time, I really, really liked Marshmallow. And so it was crazy because I got kind of like a weird taste of it. And like, for example, I was trying to leave this one stage and go somewhere else. And there was like a line of people trying to take pictures with me. And I literally had to be like, sorry guys, that's the end of the line. And they're like, dude, come on, I've been waiting in line. And I'm like, bro, I'm just a dude, bro.
I'm not even.
And I feel like that's how these celebrities feel all the time because people they feel entitled for your 2 seconds.
Yeah.
They're like, dude, it's just a picture. Dude, it's just this. Dude, it's just an autograph. And it's like, bro,
feel like that, yeah.
You have to be nice because like we were saying earlier, these people are bitches a lot of times, and then it gets exposed and you're like, wow, that person's not as cool as I thought, because it pays dividends to be a nice person. And like, you know, whatever, if you believe in God or karma or whatever, I think being a good person is just a good thing to be.
I agree.
But on the other hand, you do have to kind of sympathize with how stressful and crazy these people's lives are. Because another thing that was weird was I always felt like someone was looking at me and knowing who I was. Like, for example, I went to the same festival last year and this year, and the Carl from The Walking Dead, the kid, Chandler Riggs, he was there. And so I was in the VIP section because my friend Lindsay hooked it up with VIP. Shout out to Lindsay. And so I was literally like right next to this kid.
Yeah.
And when he was walking through the main areas, people were stopping him, people wanted to take pictures. And in this VIP area, everyone kind of had this like common decency to like not bother him.
To let him be.
And people would talk to him and like try to kind of mosey up to him and like, oh, do you think we can get a picture? You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it seemed like he was kind of annoyed with it because he's just like, dude, I'm just trying to enjoy this show.
How old is he?
He just graduated high school, I think.
Okay.
Like last year. Maybe something like that. So he's pretty young. He's like 18.
Yeah.
But the weird thing was, it was like there was always, even me, out of the corner of my eye, I was looking at him.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, there's that
You
guy.
can't.
And I don't even watch The
Walking
Walking Dead. I don't even watch The Walking Dead. That was the funny thing. I just knew he was famous, and I knew that people wanted to meet him and know him. So it was just like, oh, there's that guy that everyone wants to see and take pictures of. Oh, he looked at me. I nodded my head. He acknowledged me as a person.
Cool.
We're cool.
We're friends.
Fist
now.
bumped him. Yeah, like, he asked a question to his friend and like I helped him figure, you know, like whatever it was.
Right, yeah.
And so people just get so weird around celebrities, and you just have to realize like, yes, they're cool for a reason, and people want to be them, and people want to know them for a reason, but at the same time, they're just people.
Yeah, that's exactly. I think that also everyone's used to seeing them through a screen, and the fact that they're in real life is almost unbelievable.
Another weird thing is like movie stars. A lot of times, people are a little bit intimidated to approach. I think, like if you saw Tom Cruise, you might be kind of like.
I don't think I would ever go and say.
Okay, who's someone that you would like? Let's say
Tom Cruise is such a bad choice. Let's see.
Okay, like a
Chris Pratt. He would be someone I would be really intimidated to talk to.
Yes, because he's here's the weird thing. When you're on a movie screen, you're huge, you're larger than life.
Yes.
But like TV stars, kind of you get that. But like, let's say you're like Instagram famous or they're a really famous vlogger or something.
Right.
It's much more intimate and you're always seeing them every day in their kind of daily life and they're on a smaller screen. Yeah. That if I saw, for example, like Casey Neistat or something, I don't know if you know who that is. If I saw Casey Neistat, I would have no hesitation to go up to him. And me, because I have had a lot of thoughts about this, I would try to not be annoying about it. And honestly, I might not even ask for a picture just because I think that it's kind of annoying and I kind of would just rather be like, yo, what's up? Like,
him on
and kind of just
stuff,
like have a normal conversation with him.
Yeah.
But yeah. There's also this like us versus them kind of weird thing where it's like I'm down here and they're up there, so like I have to freak out when I see them, and it's like, no, dude, we're all on like the same level. We're all people.
Right. I think that's another.
I think we've beaten the subject to death. Is there anything else you want to say about that?
No.
Good. There wasn't any need to. No, but yeah, I just wanted to say that because I feel like that was kind of a interesting thing. But anyways. Anything else, Cameron? Anything you want to promote, or where can people find you, or any last things you want to say to people?
Instagram. I've tried to get my Twitter back up. It's hard to get Twitter back into my life because I just beat it to death back in the day. But I'm trying to use it again. My best friend Noelle and I.
How can people find you on Twitter? What's your name?
Cam Hesseltine. Find me on Instagram, and my Twitter's on there. Instagram is Cameron Nicole with 3 E's.
I'll link it down below.
And an _.
There we go.
Or just find me on Andrew's stuff, I guess.
Yeah. Go follow AD Podcast, and she'll be tagged in there.
There you go.
Boom.
That's it. I had fun.
Cool.
This was fun.
We didn't really talk about podcasting stuff, but I'm kind of happy with how our conversation went. It was good.
I did too. It was a good
Cool. Well, if you want to find out how to make a podcast, stay tuned because we'll tell you about it next time.
Yes. Thanks for listening.
Of course. And stay tuned for Cameron's podcast.
Yes.
Do you have a name for it yet?
We did, and now it's taken, so we're having to rethink.
Okay. Well,
so,
it's
to be
under wraps.
continued.
Definitely follow me and her on social media, and we'll blast the shit out of it when it comes out.
Fuck yeah.
Cool. All right. Awesome. Well, thanks, Cameron. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Boom. That was a super fun podcast. Even re-listening to the episode, I was literally cracking up so hard when we were impersonating those girls. I was cracking up. It was super funny to me. But I really want to thank Cameron for being such an awesome guest. Make sure you follow her on Instagram and Twitter for more fashion content. I'm going to post those links in the show description. And hit her up if you have any questions or you need advice. I'm talking to you, Nike sock wearing dudes. Step your game up. Episode 20. Holy shit. We did it, folks. 20 podcasts in. Episode 20 is up next with my friend Lindsay Carino. Lindsay's one of my best friends. She's a world traveler, political activist, historian, and she actually lives in Washington, D.C., and this was the first podcast I recorded outside of the great state of Georgia. And Lindsay moved there about 6 months ago, didn't know a soul, just straight hustled, and it has been her dream for a while to move out there, and I'm super proud of her for conquering her fears and going for it. But on that episode, we talked about her childhood growing up in England, the stories that her dad made on her life, and last year we talked about her dad passing away, which obviously is a very hard subject to talk about. It's never fun to talk about death, but it was really, really powerful. I hate to say enjoyed talking about it because it's never fun, but it was really, really meaningful for me, and I really hope that you guys check that episode out. And at the end, we delved into some good old American politics, so I was super excited to come visit her and record that episode, and I also want to thank Lindsay for being super vulnerable and sharing her stories with you guys. You don't want to miss out on that one. It's coming up next. If you want to support the podcast, I keep clearing my throat. Jeez, I need to stop. I don't know what I'm doing. But if you want to support the podcast, best way to do that, you guys already know. Go to that iTunes store. If you got an iPhone, open up that podcast app. Find my name, Andrew Deitch Podcast. Click the little button that says write a review, or it says read reviews and ratings. Then click write a review. Leave it a 5-star review, only if you liked it, but chances are if you're listening all the way to the end of this podcast, you probably enjoyed it. You didn't turn it off. So go in there, leave me some feedback. I would love to know what you like, what you don't like, how I can make this podcast better. And having lots and lots of downloads is really crucial for me to be discovered and jump up in the new and noteworthy section. So if you're not even going to listen to all of them, which I don't blame you, there's a lot. We're already heading to episode 20. Just listen to the ones you want, but download the other ones too, because that's going to really help me out. I need to get my download numbers up. If you want to follow me on my social media platforms, which you should, because I post some funny, good, cool, awesome, sometimes dumb stuff on there, go to my website, andrewdeitch.com. That's Andrew, DEITSCH.com. And you can find the links to everything there. And go follow me on Instagram. That's at AD Podcast. I'm posting all the important podcast stuff. And I've been posting a lot of Instagram stories from like behind the scenes kind of stuff. Trying to get that game up a little bit more. But I really got to go. But I love you guys. Big hug. See you soon. I'll see you on episode 20. Bye.